And before you get started on this episode of Zapped to the Past, I'd just like to give a massive shout out to the following people: Andy Marsh, Cole Hutchinson, David Hearn, Sven Osa, 2000 DC, Gary Heather, Roger McNally, Lee Dove, Ben Granville, Mark Fletcher, Etienne Bettingfeld, Niall Bullitt, Alexander Gosling, Tim TJ Walker, Bill Sowerby, Joshua K, Dominic Kendrick, Rune P, Nick James, Daniel Spreadbury, Peter Price, Richard Davey, Dennis B, ALH2 Retro, Liam Carew, Dylan Dart, Alistair McMillan, Dan Wales, Gary Wilson, Oscar Jacobson, Brian Howarth, Clyde Radcliffe, Adam Askew, Leo Staples, Jason Hutchins, David Stringer, David Winter, Mike's Vintage Tech, John Ebbs, Runester71, Pete Muller, Samuel Hodgson, and Deadlock. These amazing people have backed our Patreon at C64 tier. The support they offer, as ever, is just plain awesome. If you want to join them, get a mention in next month's shout out, which might be the last I'm thinking about it. Access to our Discord server, well, the last in a present incarnation, who knows. If you want to get access to it, get a shout out then. Access to the Discord server, early access to ad-free episodes along with any special releases we put out along with anything else you can think of, sign up. By the 18th of the month at patreon.com/Zapped to the Past for well less than the price of a pint of beer. And now, on with the show. And welcome to episode 218 of Zapped to the Past. I am Adrian Mills. I'm joined as always by Mr. Graham Raddings. If you haven't listened before, this is a podcast where we discuss games that were released for the Commodore 64. We are using the magazine Zap 64 as a monthly guide for the games to focus on, but we are in no way affiliated with Zap 64 itself. This week, we start our look at September 1992 and the first batch of games reviewed in issue 88 of Zap 64, along with what was also going on in the UK singles and albums chart that month. Graham, will this be a September to remember, or one that we would want to dismember?
Wow, we really are heading for the final straight now. September 1992, and not many issues of Zap 64 left. You can tell too, content was getting thin and, dare I say, desperate. Covers were looking shabby, less than 70 pages for a magazine, an endless regurgitation of things they'd already looked at too. It doesn't paint the picture of a vibrant platform, let alone a decent magazine. So in a month where we had Black Wednesday, when the UK government was forced to withdraw the pound sterling from the European exchange rate mechanism after being unable to keep it above the agreed lowest limit. She's back, and as booby as ever. Yes, in a surprise twist which nobody expected, or could probably afford, the vampish queen of the 90s US goth scene kind of returns-ish for another 8-bit escapade in the full icon multi-disc Elvira 2, The Jaws of Cerberus. And after that, we head over to the Arcade Obscura, blow the dust off a game from 1988, and go for a slap, a slide, a kick, and a dribble. No, that's not the game. That's just what you'll need after experiencing the supremely dreadful dirty armpit C64 conversion of fighting soccer. It seems utterly bewildering that some of these games were released without any kind of quality intervention. Standards must have been either lower than a snake's belly, or there was no concept of quality at all. Either way, if you crap in my cornflakes, we're going to have a problem. So while we wonder if that has ever actually happened, we revisit some old 8-bit scenery, jump into our best fighting dressing gowns, and go head-to-head for a good old-fashioned thump-em-up as we explore the nippy side-scooting techniques of Box Vigilante. Before finally, in a complete change of pace and operating surface, we head to the ocean in a little boat armed with a rod and some ambition as we throw the bait, cast our lines, and try out some big game fishing. A cluster of pretty shabby stuff in here, has to be said, from the very expensive to the utterly awful, and quite a lot in between, I suppose. I remember thinking, the C64's got loads of amazing games released right through its life. Yeah, I was wrong about that. Dead wrong. Dismember the games of September. I have a funny feeling we haven't got some heavy hitters here. We've got some real stinkeroos. So prepare yourself if I were you.
Yeah, it's there's only four. There's 4 this week, 5 next week.
Yeah,
but
there is.
It's not a hearty a bunch, is it? It's not something to get your hopes up for.
No,
I'm
this is
afraid.
not a Little Chef like super breakfast. Do you remember when they did them? Little Chef did them big breakfast, didn't they? Ain't one of them.
I do. With the curly sausage. Oh no, that was Wimpy. The curly sausage around the tomato.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know. The curly sausage sounds like either a place you've been or something you've done. I'm not sure which.
Both. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But the curly sausage, basically what they had to do, it was like, I think it was like a hot dog sausage, and they sliced into it so they could wrap it, and then they wrapped it around a tomato.
That sounds actually repulsive. Hot dog sausages are bad enough anyway.
But sliced up and wrapped around a tomato.
No, I don't think I remember going to a Wimpy, well, maybe once in my whole life, because there was one in Cleethorpes like a million years ago. There was one in Grimsby, I think, actually.
There was. My mum used to take me there as a treat.
Ago, yeah. But I never went there. No, and your mum never took me there as a treat, which I never thanked her for either.
That she never took you?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, come on, Graham, I'm taking you to Wimpy.
I don't.
I've avoided this.
Nice. I've avoided it my whole life. But I did venture into a Little Chef a couple of times in the past. I always felt like I was the only customer that had been in there for some time at that one. We used to have one near here, actually.
There was that on the Lacey bypass, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's subsequently been turned into a Greggs, I believe, like a big Greggs, like a big sort of charging point for electrical vehicles. It's enormous venture now. Enormous venture.
But some say that the ghost of the Little Chef still haunts that Greggs.
It does, yeah. I go in there and the breakfasts are still too big.
Too big, and you just hear the haunting cry of a child in the background asking for crayons.
Asking for crayons or asking for a quid so they could get one of them plastic eggs out of them machines, the ones that you turn the little handle and it pops out a giant egg. Well, not an egg, a ball, actually.
It's better than that one in Cleethorpes sort of thing where you get in the egg ride and it spins round and the child disappears when it spins round.
Allegedly, yeah. I wouldn't want to get involved with that. It did that played that horrible music, but never got all the way to the end, did it? It was a freaky little thing, that.
Yeah, it was unpleasant.
Horrible.
Anyway, we've got a cover to look at because it's a new month. So it's another month. It's another cover.
Yes,
September.
Yes, there is.
So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this cover, shall we? It's another of those,
compilations. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a thingy, aren't they? Where they're basically looking at all the multi-game or multi-event games.
Yeah, I'll say it. It's a bit shit, isn't it? The cover.
Are you not a fan? I mean, I don't mind the drawing so much. I don't mind the running sort of thing. But it's completely hidden.
Yeah, I think it would have been better not to have them Olympic circle athletes sort of in the little. I just think it doesn't need them really.
No, it really doesn't, does it? I don't know what they're doing. No. Just have just guys running would be action enough for this, I suppose. And also don't have the massive green tape thing.
Why have they done that? I mean, you don't need 2. Is it 2 tapes though? Is that 2 terrific tapes? That's why. Yeah.
There is 2 tapes, yes. There's a lot of space given over there. In which case, then try and make if you know that's coming, make the cover. I don't know if these are games. I don't know if these are covers that they've just dug out, like you said last time.
They've got to be. This cannot be. It doesn't look finished. Actually, this one. It looks not to the usual. I mean, is it Ollie Frey for a start? Because I can't see his signature.
Oh yeah, you can tell. You can tell it's Ollie Frey. It's his style.
He hasn't signed it though. So normally he would sign it, wouldn't he?
It's probably hidden by the tape.
Yeah, or any one of the big emblazoned win something things on it, of which there seems to be too many.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous, isn't it? I can have a look. Might be in the credit.
I mean, there's a bit too much going on. It's unusual. I mean, we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. We were saying before that they were a little bit absent of stuff. This one, goodness me, you don't quite know where your eye's going. You got all these offers on it. Reality Asylum, the Zap crew get locked into virtual reality. I hate things like that. That sort of headline and that sort of Reality Asylum. It doesn't mean anything. And
this was 1992 virtual reality as well. So we've seen what that promises.
Nonsense. Yeah, exactly. We will remember that what hard driving was meant to be, won't we? And then when we saw it in the arcade, we're like, it's not really driving, is it?
No,
it's that was kind of VR-ish, wasn't it? Win a disc drive and Elvira 2 from Fleur. Doesn't say what for that disc drive, does it? Could be anything. It's like,
true.
Here's your disc drive. Oh, I thought it was for the C64. No, it's not. No.
You can also win free virtual reality memberships. Oh,
that's
want
such
that.
What a rubbish! A free membership is rubbish. For what? To do what? I suppose details are inside the mag, I guess.
I suppose so. And it just says all the latest full-priced and budget games reviewed, but not a mention of a single one.
No, and it's a bit cut off in it, the one we've got here.
Yeah,
so
it is. I mean, you can make it out what it says.
Someone over-trimmed it. Yeah, there's like a it's like multi-sport mania, is that, or something on the
I think it's every C64 multi-event sports game reviewed. Give you
God, it's no wonder nobody was buying this. They're now reviewing games they've already reviewed. I mean, it's bad enough that the budget ones, but they're now reviewing things that they'd previously reviewed anyway. What was the point?
Don't know. They've been doing it well because they need to get past. Someone said that if it's less than 52 pages, it's a pamphlet. It was Lee Dove on that.
I suppose that might be.
So if that's the case, then it's probably like they need to fill up 68 pages, which is all this is nowadays.
There was a lot of games that we've come across that haven't made it to the pages of Zap. Surprisingly, they didn't try and track some of those down. I mean, this isn't showing a lot of effort on their part. They're clearly, this thing is dying. They know it. They're just kind of, they're going for their kind of let it die philosophy, aren't they?
Maybe. I would say, though, that
Admiral Kirk.
Back then, though, those games that, A, they're probably hard to get hold of because probably a lot of the companies may have gone bust. B, you've got no kind of central repository like Lemon to find out, have you, back then? So it'd be hard to sort of find stuff back then.
Maybe, but I thought most of them are out on budget by now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, they cover the budget games, but they are giving you 2 tapes, but these tapes are crap.
What's on them? So what's on let's talk about the tapes. What's on these terrific tapes? These 2 terrific tapes. TTT.
These 2 terrific tapes. You've got Jeep Command, which we looked at back in issue 38, I think, and was pretty rubbish.
It wasn't very good then. Yeah.
No, we did Time Tracks, which I think was episode 32. I think it was episode 38 for Jeep Command, episode 32 for Time Tracks. That tells you how far back these are going.
Wow. Okay.
There's a demo of Hagar, the Viking game, but actually I don't think we ever look at. We might get it. I don't know if it turns up by the time we finish. There's a demo of Creatures 2.
Right.
It's one of the torture rooms. That's it.
Right.
That's one tape. The second tape is a game called Vioris, which is a homebrew Tetris game.
Right.
Basically very good. People on them said it's not very good. There's LA Adventure 2, the second part of the text adventure.
Yeah.
The Snack Man, which is a bog standard Pac-Man clone.
One of those Pac-Man rip-offs that we talked about.
Yeah, and there's Burger Chase, a 1984 Burger Time knockoff.
Right. Okay. So it's not exactly killer material there, is it?
No. That's not a great couple of tapes, is it?
What a waste of tapes. They'd be better off giving you a free C90.
Or letting you see the picture.
Yeah, or just let you see the picture. I think, does it need 2 tapes, that? Really? Why don't they just put it on 1 tape?
I don't know,
make the tape slightly longer. I mean, I'm not going for major rocket science here. Longer tapes, probably a better solution than 2 tapes, I feel, which presents
loads of games
more
on the
complicated.
C90.
Yes, what I mean, it presents, I would say, more of a complex packaging issue for 2. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it was easier. I don't know.
Soft Aid had like 10 games on it or something, didn't it?
I don't understand. I don't understand, Mick. I don't understand.
I don't either.
I don't know why it's the way it is. You can tell it's sort of running out of inspiration, the whole thing. It's starting to really look tired. I'm not wholly impressed with it. Left. Yeah, exactly. I think you can tell.
Yeah, do you want to know what games are in the multi-event stuff they looked at?
Yeah, we suppose we should, really. I mean,
you can probably guess most of them. There's all the games. Well, Summer Games 2.
Yeah.
So this is it's a multi-event sports sims. It says excluding military, circus, or weird ones.
So that's most of them then.
Right. Okay. So we've got Summer Games 2.
Yeah.
World Games.
Okay.
I think might fit under weird one.
I was going to say
California games in here. Yeah. Hyper Sports.
Right.
I mean, good so far. Winter Games. They're starting off with the heavy hitters, basically. Daily Thompson Super Test. Don't remember being particularly very good.
It wasn't great.
No. Summer Games, which obviously was good.
Yeah, it's all right.
The Games Winter Edition. Don't remember that
wasn't
being
so good. That
great.
No,
Decathlon
wasn't great.
Classic Activision one.
Yeah,
that's the real joystick waggler in it. Brian Jack Superstar Challenge. Remember that being okay?
I thrust yourself into oblivion.
Yeah. I still listen back to that episode, sort of thing, where that just we just go crazy on that one. Just squat thrust back in time.
Yeah, he squat thrust the earth round. That's how the earth rotates. It's in squat thrusting.
Winter Super Sports.
That sounds rubbish.
Don't remember. Game Summer Edition.
Yeah, it wasn't. They weren't very good. Those ones, the nearly round ones.
Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge. I just remember that being too hard for.
Too hard.
Rock hard. Rock hard for the waggling. Winter Olympiad.
The Olympiad games were okay.
They were okay. Daley Thompson's Decathlon. I don't think that stands the test of time, really, does it?
No.
International Team Sports.
Don't remember that
that
one.
was by Mindscape. That's a Ringler.
Oh, no.
That's a Ringler one. Summer Olympiad.
Yeah, it was all right.
And Hunchback at the Olympics. That was dreadful, wasn't it?
How can that be classed as anything but weird? You can't just drop that in there at the end.
True. Because I was thinking, so we're going to get Caveman Olympics then? And things like that.
Yeah, exactly what they said. No weird ones, apart from the one with the Hunchback in, the most controversial one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just gather a collect. What's the collective noun for a hunchback? Oh, I don't know. I don't know even what that is. A bell, a ring,
a ring of hunchbacks, a clasp,
a dangle. I don't know what the collective noun is, but they've gathered all the hunchbacks and made them do events. Don't do that.
An Esmeralda.
Oh, it's mean, so mean. Yeah, well, that's it. It's just mean anyway. Yeah. Right, that's the games. Those were the games they covered. Oh, we're so glad they did. No.
Yeah.
And the conclusion they reached was they're all okay, apart from the Hunchback
some of them
one.
they said were crap. Some of the, the Hunchback was crap. They didn't like. I liked quite a few of them, but they said things like Daley Thompson's was rubbish. Olympic Challenges weren't very good. Game Summer Edition not very good. These are all below average. International Team Sports, the Ringlers 28%. Yeah, so I didn't like some.
Don't upset the Ringlers. Everyone knows that.
Absolutely, because they'll just kill you with options.
They're like the Duke of New York, the hey number one.
How would you like to die? Which colour sword would you like? Where would you like to be stabbed?
The options, yeah. We'll option you to death. Death by 1,000 options. And then when you get to the game, it's going to be rubbish. And none of the options will matter. I
never studied. Right, there you go. That's your cover, that's your magazine, that's your intro. Should we get on some games?
Oh, yes. Well, okay.
Well, we've got 4 to do, so let's get to those 4.
Let's do it.
And the first one, well, it's a big game, I guess. It's Elvira 2.
It is.
94%. Sizzler, you got.
It's quite a high score.
Your silence says more than words ever can.
Funny that.
This is the third Elvira game that we've covered in the last year or two. We've seen quite a slew of them. And this one is more in line with the first game, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, being a first-person dungeon crawler type adventure game, rather than that god-awful platformer that had you wandering around in Elvira 2. When we've looked at these games, we've discussed Elvira and the actress who played her and everything. I'm not going over that again. We've done it. Go listen back to the previous episodes where, go back to episode 183, June 1991, and have a listen to that. That's where we sort of talk a bit more detail. So if you're interested, go do it. I'm not saying it again. What I do remember is that we've not liked either of the games so far, though, as the first one's combat was utterly broken and the second one was a boring, empty platformer, as I said. So will this one buck the trend? Finally deliver a decent game for the busty heroine?
Barella boobs. I think I throw that in there.
Boobs.
Look at her boobs.
Once again, this is published by Flare Software. The coder is Bruce LaFoe. He did Mistress of the Dark, along with Desolator, Halls of Kairos, and Winter Supersports 1992. It's a weird mix of games. Graphics are by Kelly Preston, Maria Drummond, Mark Sample, and Paul Drummond. This is the only game listed for Kelly and Maria on the C64. Mark Sample did Mistress of the Dark, and also International Ninja Rabbits and Winter Supersports. Whilst Paul Drummond also worked on Mistress of the Dark and Winter Supersports. Music, such as it is by Sean Connolly. He did Mistress of the Dark, Turbocharge, and Ninja Rabbits, not to be confused with International Ninja Rabbits. Okay. Finding the instructions for the C64 version of this was painful, but I did find a Czech version, I think, and ran it through a translator, and the back of the box wasn't helpful either. I found lots of copies of the Amiga version, and the manual has a long intro with a letter from Elvira to her boyfriend like the first game, and it's boring. It's not very funny, and I'm not reading it because it's of no interest to the rest of the game. It just has no real bearing. It's really weird. You play it, and then the game is just, what? The crux of the matter here is that Elvira has been kidnapped and is going to be sacrificed to Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the underworld at midnight. This is Elvira 2, Jaws of Cerberus, I think it's called. It's the full title. He guards the underworld. So she's going to be killed at midnight. You play her boyfriend in this, and you need to save her. So the back of the C64 does promise such things as these, Graham. It promises non-stop exciting entertainment. Easy to play, thanks to full icon-based commands.
Full icon?
Full icon. It's gone
That's
full
not
icon.
even a thing. That's not a thing.
It's full icon. Very fast loading of graphics. And it also says it's an award-winning game. Okay. It also goes on to say, accompany Elvira on an unforgettable tour through her new film studios. The eeriest and most terrifying monsters come from, for example, they came from Beyond the Grave and House of Horrors, to name just 2 sets. Before you fall completely under Elvira's spell, beware of the dead and undead who will come. That's just the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
The dead and the undead, they're the same thing, who will confront you as soon as you turn the first corner. No, they don't. We claim that Elvira presents herself here in her most chilling and exotic form.
Goodness me.
It's confusing, that, because you don't play as Elvira.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. I don't know what this game's on about. Anyway, the game loads up. It's got a nice title screen. It's Elvira tied to a stake. She looks in some distress, and there's the flare logo, which cycles around. And rather cheaply, the music here, the only music in the game, is the same as Mistress of the Dark. I've used the same piece of music. And I hope Mr. Connolly got paid again for the use of it in this game. Who knows? Bet he didn't. It's a decent piece, you know. I probably said that back in 91. I just can't help feeling it would have been nice to have something original and something in game as well.
Yeah.
You know. There's nothing else to do here but press fire to start the game and wait for the first screen to load up. If you've played Mistress of the Dark, you will be familiar with the screen layout, because it's very similar. You control the game with a pointer that you move around with a joystick, and pressing fire clicks on things. Icon driven. Remember, Graham, it's fully icon driven.
Full icons, Adrian.
Full icons.
Full icons. The fullest icons you've ever seen.
I know, these are so full.
They're so full. Honestly, I'm full looking at them. I'm heaving.
This is obviously trying to replicate a mouse. It's okay, I guess. I mean, it's a joystick moving a pointer around.
It ain't no mouse.
No, around the edge of the screen along the left, bottom and right is the UI. So from the top left, you have so there's quite a lot. There's your total hit points, but this is your total hit points for each part of your body, and are actually different to your normal hit points. I don't quite know how this all works, but it does. An indicator of the state of your heart, which is like a doo-doo sort of line, your body, and whether it's working well. Supposedly bits of your body can get broken through the game. I don't know. Along the bottom, you have your inventory. There's some arrows to scroll it up or down as it fills up. Above this are your basic stats, level, XP, power points, and hit points. In the bottom left, we have our movement arrows, back, forward, turn left, turn right, or turn 180 degrees. Above this, we can access our stats. So you've got more stats. These are very D&D, strength, wisdom, constitution, and so on. Mm-hmm. Don't know why you have these, because it's not a D&D game. I think there's a confusing array of options and statistics in this that are not really necessary. I don't know if this is an RPG or an adventure. I don't quite get it. Above this, so you can access stats. Then we have some context-sensitive buttons that change as you do things. So as you select items, they'll pop up with options for them. And then there's some other buttons there. These allow us to see our inventory. If you've done something in the inventory display at the bottom, you can click that to get back to it. You can scan a room for items we've found there, so it tells you what items you've found. I can never quite get this to work. You can see your spell book, where you can look at the spells. You can throw a spell or cast a spell. You can enable combat, I think, which is a sword, and you attack with that. And you can shield as well. There's a picture of a shield. I presume that shields you as well. If you click on the spell book, there's a list of spells. You can click on any of them. It gives you details of the spell, such as its level you need to cast it, I guess, how many power points it costs to cast, what ingredients you need to craft it, and what it does. Okay, kind of interesting, I guess. So again, is this an RPG? Is it an adventure game? You choose. I don't know. Taking up the rest of the screen at the center is the present view of the world. So it's a sort of first-person still image of what we can see. You can click on things in the world. If it's something you can interact with, you might get a close-up of it. Or if it's something you can pick up, then your arrow icon will change to a hand, and you can drag it into the inventory to pick it up. That means clicking on it, holding down fire button, and move it into the inventory at the bottom, and that picks things up. I don't know why it just didn't say pick up. Double click on something or whatever. If you want to use something on something or in a scene, then you can click on it in the inventory, drag it out into the world, and it'll just try to use it. I found, however, and this is one of my biggest bugbears about this game, when I used the wrong item in the wrong place, the object would just disappear from my inventory and it'd be gone for good. Didn't know if I'd lost it or if it was a glitch. So I was like, well, what's happened? The arrows in the bottom right tell you which way you can go. So they're either red or green. If they're green, you can click on them. If they're red, you can't. So if it's got forward, you can click on that and it'll go forward. You can also click in the actual image itself in the kind of middle, and that will move you forward as well. Okay. It would have been nice to just be able to click on the edges, I think, as well to turn, but you can't do that. Or alternatively, there's another way I could have done it, but it just can't do that. So the game starts. And I was basically stuck immediately. You start outside the studios, and that's because the game kind of wants you to click everywhere to see if there's anything there to interact with, which is weird. Essentially, what you've got to do is you start the game outside the studios where Elvira is, and your first task is to get in. So you move forward the way you're looking. The main gate is locked. You can't go in, as is the door to the security office. There's a security office off to the right, so you turn right, go forward, look left, and the security office. Try and click on either of those, and the game tells you quite explicitly, it says you do not have the correct key, right? That's the text it gives you, right? So if the game tells me I don't have the correct key, I'm going to go looking for a key, right? I'm expecting to see a key somewhere, right? It's a key. And that's not what you need to do here. So the game is instantly misleading you. So basically what you have to do, if you were interested in getting past this opening, from your starting point, turn around, you'll see like the road in front of you where you've got coming on. It's all blue because it's nighttime. And on the floor, there's a rock. So you need to pick that rock up. And now, oddly, on the opposite side to the rock, on the other side of the pathway, in some blackness, it says there's some strange fungi. You only know this by clicking on some black space because it's not there. There's nothing there. But there's some strange fungi which you can drag into it. You can't see it. It's not there.
It ain't there.
So, I don't know. Then the rock disappears, okay? You pick up the rock, you drag it, and that disappears out of that scene. Okay, fine. You then go back to the security hut, face the window, click on the rock, and it'll give you the option to throw it. So it throws the rock through the door, through the window, and then you can get in. It's not a key. That's not a key at all. If it had said or it could have just popped up with something like, oh, if only I had some way to smash the window.
Well, that would be useful.
A bit of advice, a bit of hint rather than it's not the right key. A rock's not a key. So the game fails at giving you the right information at this point. Once in, you can explore this. It's quite a small area. You find a dead guy who falls out the closet. You get his keys. And you get some keys, Graham. You get some keys. And you might think, oh, that'll be the key to the gate. I mean, that's a logical conclusion, isn't it? You think the thing says you haven't got the key, right? So you walk out to the gate, tried to use the keys on the gate, lost the keys, and was told I did not have the correct key. So, and that's me buggered. This point, because you can't, in fact, the keys disappear. They're not back where the body was. They're just gone. I couldn't find them anywhere. You can't see them anywhere. You can't pick them up again. They just disappeared.
That ain't good.
So on a separate occasion, I threw the rock at the gate. This lost me the rock and the ability to regress because I now had no way to break the window in the hut, the security hut.
Dear.
So again, I was soft locked out of the game. I had to restart again. No. What you got to do here when you pick up the keys, you have to turn to your left, move forward, turn to your left again, which gets you around the desk, and then on the desk there's a computer screen, a monitor. You can click on that and you get close up of that. That doesn't do anything. There's also a close up of the filing cabinet. That doesn't do anything. No, there's a console, like a keyboard console or something on the desk, which you can just kind of make out. You click on that and you put the key in there. Then that opens the gate.
What are they doing?
It's stupid. Now, I only knew all this because I found a walkthrough. I found a full walkthrough. We'll post the walkthrough. So if you want to play through this game, we'll post a link to a walkthrough for this. Because left to my own devices, I'd have turned this off because this opening is not helpful in guiding you into the game. I'd have been annoyed that I just lost objects for no good reason. Let me just say the rock is not useful here. How many adventure games have we played where you have to smash something or do something and you go, use rock? You can't. You don't go, okay, the rock is gone. It's fallen into a sport billy bag in another dimension. You can never get it back. Just ridiculous. Anyway, once you get into the offices, you wander about in complete silence and do adventure game type stuff with icons. And that's this game. You wander about, you move forward, you shuffle around, you look to the left, you look to the right, you open elevators, you go up, you find stuff, there's monsters, there's some stuff to solve. It's just too awkward. I didn't get on with this at all. I didn't find it as annoying as the first game, but then again, that's because I didn't actually come across any combat. So I don't know what the combat's like. It takes ages to get anywhere and do anything, and I didn't like this at all. It's just really dull and uninteresting. The visuals are nice. I'll give it that. There's some nice animations, like throwing the rock, launches it through the window where it smashes in complete silence. The dead body falling out of the closet again in complete silence, but it does it, but it's really slow animation. It's like, do, like on the Amiga version, it's like, quite fast. But it's just all rather boring. It's slow. There's a lot of loading, even on cartridge, which is what I played it on. Every few images needed loading. And this originally came on 4 discs. And even in the here and now, playing the cartridge version, it's still a slog to navigate. Part of me wonders why anyone thought this was a good game to port back then. According to the Zapped review, Accolade, who did the original 16-bit versions, had no intention of doing a C64 version. So Flair bought the rights and did it. A fair play, or flare play if you want, but 25 quid this cost, Graham. £25.
That is ridiculous.
And 4 discs in 1992 on the C64. Well, that's a tough sell for anyone. Even Darren Brown couldn't make me buy this thing. And yes, it may look good in some of the screens on the back. Don't get me wrong, yeah, but then the porn looked better, I think, several years ago. Adventure games like that were true adventure games, not this kind of mishmash of a mix of things. I didn't get it. Navigating this, whilst okay, is never going to be smooth sailing when you control a pointer with a joystick, and I would have welcomed some keyboard shortcuts. Why is it not cursor keys for navigation?
Question.
Just up, down, left, right. I mean, I could just press the keys and I can move forward, I can turn. It'd be much more simpler, wouldn't it? S for spells, so on and so forth. I for inventory. Why just not include those quick keyboard shortcut pointers, which you could then just move around this a lot quicker? I don't know. It seems to be well like this. Got loads of rave reviews on Lemon. Lots of good reviews across the time. So, and I do admire the tenacity of Flare Software to try and make this and make this and release it. But it's not the way to play this. It's really not. If you want to play this, go play the original, faster, better looking, with music, Amiga version. It's got mouse control, music, it looks better. Everything you'd want this to actually be is the Amiga version. Beyond the technical question of could you do this on the C64, to a degree, but you've had to slice out so many of the animations and so much of the stuff and, all the kind of fun bits and there's no atmosphere. There's the lack of atmosphere. There's the user affordance is lacking. It's a frustrating and dull thing to try and wade through. I can't recommend this at all. There's some nice visuals. Just watch a playthrough probably if you want to see them, but don't play this because it's not very enjoyable. It really wasn't for me. This I was kind of going in thinking, maybe this is going to be all right, but just all the typical sort of adventure stuff kind of gets in the way, along with disappearing objects and stuff. Now maybe I was playing it wrong. These things didn't disappear, but they did for me. So I can only go on my own experience with it, and it happened more than once. So no, I found this a very boring game. What did you think?
Oh, the same. I actually had quite high expectations for all the brouhaha and the graphics, I suppose, are okay, in the version of what they are. But I just became quite frustrated quite quickly with the wandering around and the clicking of why not just make it up and down on the joystick? Why does it need to have this icon-driven malarkey?
Because it's full icon, Graham, full.
It's full icon. I didn't really like the previous Elvira, the one that was like this. Not to say that there's probably a great deal to explore. I found myself wandering around in near silence, which was annoying. Put some bloody sound in it, for goodness sakes. Mm-hmm. And the idea of it, okay, fine. We've seen this kind of thing. But on the Amiga and stuff, this is where this is going to work. With a mouse and the logic of that. With this, it's just clunky right off the get-go. Now, maybe there's a great adventure in here to play and everything else, but I've just, like most people probably got to the door and were like, what do I do now? And like you said, you had a bit of jiggery pokery, you could find it, but are you going to want to do that? I mean, obviously, if you pay 25 quid for the game, you're going to really need to get the most out of it. But that's such a silly price. I mean, that's essentially the same price as the Amiga game, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I don't see the point of this at all. I mean, there's clearly a lot of work's gone into it because there's quite a lot of graphics and pictures and imagery. And I like the idea of what they've tried, but the C64 is never going to do this real justice. And underneath all of that, I don't want to do it. I didn't really want to get involved in the game. It just didn't sell itself to me. I just don't think there's enough market left on the C64 at this time to be into it. I know it's got lots of fans and everything else, of course, I don't know why that might be. These sort of games do have people that like them. Is it Eye of the Beholder that's a similar thing that comes out later or whatever that is?
Yeah.
So these games do resonate with people when they're done all right. And okay, maybe that's fine, but I just didn't like, I don't know, I didn't like the controls. I didn't like the way you moved around. The graphics were okay for what they were, but how much mileage are you going to get out of it? I think it's the near silence thing that bothers me a bit. I'd just gone for sort of outside sounds, just the occasional chirp. I don't know, something. It's just that these games, I mean, even Scarabaeus, which is better than this at this kind of thing, at least that had breathing and sounds, and that. But what I mean is, so they can't, with a bit of atmosphere, it can really lean into it, and it elevates the game. Without that, as much as the graphics kind of look okay for what they are like they clearly are a C64 version of the Amiga graphics. Okay, fine. But they're not as good as like Defender of the Ground when they did it. So it's just, I don't know. It just feels a bit half-hearted and it's expensive. It's too expensive for what it is. I don't see the point of it. So by now, I wouldn't have even played this on the Amiga. And I like boobs generally, but I wouldn't have played it on the Amiga at all. So, nah, I didn't think much to it. I thought it was too quiet, too dull. I just didn't dig it. And I tried to wander around, but I'm not one for wandering around with very little input from anything. And not for me, this. No, didn't enjoy it.
No, there we go. 25 quid.
It's a lot of lolly, that.
Who's your market for this? 25 quid. I don't understand
No one in particular. No one in particular.
No. Elvira was not popular enough over here to warrant it, really, was she?
No.
It's not really. There you go. That's our first game for this week. That's Elvira 2, Jaws of Cerberus, whatever it's called. Let's move on to our next one for this week. And Graham, it's over to you to tell us all about fighting soccer.
Oh, God, right, okay. Settle in. I'm going to have a little bit of a word with the developers. So, fighting soccer. This was released in a compilation. I'll talk about the compilation a little bit. It's got 10% in Zap.
Ooh.
A generous 10% in Zap. Okay. It was apparently originally released, believe it or not, by Activision, mind-bogglingly by Activision in 1989. So it's not new, but it's not old either, is it that? And it's copyright SNK because it's artists from the Fighting Soccer 1988 SNK game, which was a top-down football game devised by SNK and released into the arcades. And by all accounts, kind of a fighting game, really, with football in it. So, and the idea of the game wasn't really to score, it's to kind of kick people and scrap. Okay, it is what it is. This version is produced by Software Studios. In the lemon, it says it's coded by Sprites Limited. Now, actually, when I did a bit of digging on Moby, this was, a version. It may be this version, the conversion for the C64 wasn't done by these people, but the programming credits are down for Sprites Limited as Joe Booth. Now, we've come across Joe Booth before. You may not remember his name, but you'll remember Star Wars, and you'll remember Implosion, and you'll probably remember 19 Part 1 Boot Camp.
Oh, right, okay.
So Joe Booth made those games. Now, perhaps even more interestingly, is where it all led for Mr. Booth. So if you go and peruse Joe Booth's list of 54 credits on 41 games on Moby Games, you're going to see things like FIFA Soccer 08, Reign of Fire, Samurai Jack, Amulet of Time, on all sorts of different formats. There's quite a lot of games. So he's done quite a lot of different games since 1989's Fighting Soccer. So quite a bit on there. Onto SNES games and Windows games, and there's quite a few. So, the guy is obviously talented. I don't doubt that. So maybe, I don't know if he's down on the credit on Moby as this. So, okay, it is what it is. So the artwork here is by Tom Ashton. He's got mostly Amiga games in his credits that I could find. So I don't know if he did the graphics of this or they were just, versions of. And the music here is by Paul Summers. Do you remember Paul Summers? Well, he did Predator and SDI. You remember SDI? And this was produced by Stuart Hibbert. Stuart Hibbert was the guy that produced Predator and later, believe it or not, the game Flashback on the Amiga. So these guys, they've got some real credits behind them. So I can't understand what happened with this. This was released across a few other formats, as the arcade, as I've said, but also 1989 Atari ST, Commodore 64, obviously, but at least it was, if it got released then, this is the compilation review that's in Zap. And it came out on the Spectrum, the Amstrad, the Amiga, and then later in 2019, inexplicably, the Ant Stream. Who, in their right mind, would want to stream this unless they're streaming maybe the Amiga versions or the ST versions? Because you ain't
Must be the arcade version.
Ain't going to want to do this one, are you? You ain't.
No.
The blurb for this agent that I could find says, Fighting Soccer is a fast and furious game of nerve, skill, and challenging that will bounce right out of your monitor.
Ooh, okay.
That's a lie. That's a blatant lie, that is. Battle against 10 other countries in this international Olympic tournament. And slide tackle your opponents through 5 grueling rounds of intense play. That isn't how football works.
Well, it might be in the Olympics. There is football in the Olympics.
Yeah, but they don't go through 5 grueling rounds. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Is it played in rounds? I always thought it was halves.
I don't know in the Olympics. I don't know.
I don't think this has anything to do with the Olympics. Dribble, kick, shoot, head and foul your way to the Olympics trophy. Okay, the Olympic trophy? I think they're getting all sorts of things mixed up here. Maybe it's the arcade heritage, maybe. In Fighting Soccer, fight to win. And then there's not a lot of description left. It just says arrow mode. If keyboard mode is selected, the arrow moves around the player, showing in which direction you kick. That is, there is independent movement of the arrow. If joystick mode is selected, the arrow will automatically point in the direction of the player, and therefore the ball will be kicked in that direction. Okay, whatevs. So this has got a very elaborate opening sequence of various different screens. There's a big Fighting Soccer screen with a big ball in the middle, flags of all the different countries surrounding it, and these little animated players kicking the ball and doing animated things. It's quite attractive, actually, that, with a decent thumpy bit of music. It's okay, yeah, not bad. You'll then get some individual screens of footballers scoring a goal in what is quite a good little intro sequence. It's not full screen. It could have been bigger, but it's in the realm of these kind of games where they've got these attract sequences. It's probably like the arcade. I didn't play the arcade to find out.
Yeah, it is.
Then
it's
you'll
exactly
see
like it, yeah.
like a control screen that pops up where it says control arrow, single click, both, and it tells you a little bit about the controls for the game there, which is again lifted from the arcade screen that has that. And then there's some loading, and then you'll see the sort of less rich experience once we hit the sort of 64 version, as it were. So we've gone from the arcade, the bits of the arcade they needed to put in to keep people thinking it was like the arcade, so then we kind of load in the C64 version. And then things take a turn, Adrian. They take a real turn, don't they? Suddenly you've got this really kind of weak fighting soccer logo at the top. It looks like a pre-sucked tune that's been carved into the letters of fighting soccer. It's transparent and yellow and frightening. Underneath that, there's some credit text, and then you've got, again, the logos reminding you that Activision had a hand in this awfulness, and so did SNK. I don't think they had much to do with this version, though. Probably the C64 not. Options will present themselves to you. Player 1 versus computer, player 1 versus player 2. Player 1 and 2 versus the computer. Those are nice options in a game like this. Good ideas. And then, of course, there's the inexplicable arrow mode. Would you want to bother with the arrow mode? And then it begins, Adrian. Then the game begins. So, an utterly OTT start to this, really, isn't it? With all those extended things borrowed from the arcade. And It looks and it sounds promising when they do things like that. It's all trickery, because it all comes undone when this piss-awful game finally reveals its true form to you. Now, I am, Adrian, rarely lost for words, or should I say rarely, as in rare, lost for words when a game finally shows up. But on this occasion, I was left utterly speechless because of what befouled my screen. Because what it was truly horrific. At best, you can say this is confused, badly realised, unplayable. Maybe at best you could say it was green, because that is at least the colour of a football pitch. Everything else is abysmal, utterly abysmal. I'll describe the screen to you if I can. It's abhorrent. In the centre of the screen, you'll see your football pitch, which is over zoomed in. It's all green, this, and then there's a white ball, sprite-ish thing, and then it's surrounded by transparent green players. It's like a Hulk version of football, actually, I suppose. And on the right, for reasons that are known only to the people that made this game, is the sideways on UI.
That is the same as the arcade.
Yeah, I get it, but it's a stupid. You can correct these mistakes. It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't care where it has originated from.
It is stupid, though. Whoever did it.
The map's the right way up, but the timer and the score and the flags are not.
No, they're not.
It's stupid. So don't make excuses for this piss poor thing. Don't try. You can't. Right? The idea of the game is football. You got to get the ball, but in this it's more fighty, isn't it? So you got to kick and scratch and slide tackle and thump and punch your way around. Not that you'll be able to do that in this horrific thing. And that's what plays out. You control the player that's kind of semi-illuminated in yellow with an arrow emanating from him. If you've got arrow mode on, you'll run around, the ball flickers about, everyone flickers about, the whole thing flickers about, and eventually you'll come across a goal, which you'll end up flickering the ball into, and then you might score a goal. But also on your way, you can punch and kick your way through people if you want. Of course, that's the plan. And while you do that, the timer runs down, and so it's a football game. When you do that, there's all sorts of little mini interstitial things where when you score a goal, they flash on so quickly, and then it's like almost like subliminal messaging. But when I did manage to catch one, when it was kickoff, there was a central block in the centre, black and white, weirdly. There was an image of somebody kind of twitching and winking like he's having a stroke. Like, and then there was like just the word kickoff. I was like, okay. I thought, I'm going to in a minute. The playing experience of this is so utterly abhorrent, I feel like I'm recalling a deeply traumatic experience. I really am. Fidgety see-through player sprites shuffle around a badly realised pitch, while the confusing sideways UI breaks your eyes and brain because the map's the right way up. Forget scrolling or sprites. This is a shuffling nightmare that sees you zip around the other invisible outline players, chasing the ball and periodically scoring, where you're inaflashibly presented with some kind of twitching image of something resembling a person. I suppose the best you could say, it was an eye-scrambling fiasco that is allowed to continue unimpeded at this point. This is such a bad game. And I can't believe the coders allowed this to be mass-produced, honestly, in any way. Even now, in 2026, I think there's justification for a product recall on the grounds that they inadvertently released a piece of shit in the shape of a disc or a cassette. I mean, it was buried in a compilation called Psycho's Soccer Collection, along with Kickoff 2, World Championship Soccer, and Manchester United. mean, what a collection of shite that is anyway. But this is really the turd frosting, isn't it? On a real collection of arsehole. It's horrible. Really, really horrible. I can only imagine the tears of some poor kids getting this compilation, maybe even a fan of Stuart Psycho Pierce at the time, whoever that was. Can you imagine the horror as you worked your way through each game, gradually landing on Fighting Soccer as the last one of that experience? On the other formats that use colour and sound to their advantage in the more traditional way of a game, there's probably maybe a playable thing buried in there. But this version, and I suspect the other 8-bit ones like the Spectrum and the Amstrad are all the same because they all seem to have been squirted uncomfortably from the same dirty orifice. They all suffer from this same problem. Crap. They're all crap. This is a crap game. This is easily one of the worst C64 games of all time, without a doubt. And certainly at the top of the worst arcade conversions ever presented, I think, in the history of this podcast. This is so void. In fact, this is the void. This is at the void. This is the cusp of inability and lack of passion. It borders that uncomfortable space between dreadful and horrific. This is the taint of gaming development, Adrian. This is unwashed hands, double dipping a garlic dip with a pizza crust during a family novavirus outbreak. This is the family dog painfully turbo-gipping its way around the kitchen, looking for the right place to puke out a puddle of warm bile. This is farting in bed when you're ill with food poisoning and realising you didn't clench in time, and then your partner opens their eyes angrily wide enough for you to see them in the dark because they know what's coming. This is the silence between violently vomiting in a toilet and then doing that powerful, single, loud cough that echoes around the house, amplified by the toilet bowl. This is a bad, bad game. Over to you.
I quite liked it.
I bet.
Oh, no. My first comment on this is, Hail Mary, Mother of God, what blasphemy is this?
I was literally flicking water at the screen. The power of Christ compels you.
It's just, God, another nightmare from the past. And like you said, it originally released at full price by Activision, no less. Good Lord.
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, good attempt at the intro from the arcade original here. There are options and stuff for how to play. 2-player versus and co-op. Always good to see. Not one attached to this, though. Then you get to the game, and the horrible single-colour monochrome laggy jerky horror greets your eyes, and all hope is lost. How are you supposed to know he was on your team when all the other players are single colour?
You mean you didn't know? You didn't guess?
How can you plan anything? Everyone's green. And you're yellow. He's like piss running around a pitch.
You're all yellow.
It's like, why does it look like this when Micropro Soccer came out the year before? 1988. I checked. I was like, didn't Micropro Soccer come out around this time? A year earlier. Look how good that
looks.
looks.
Tests.
I mean, it's clearly this is like, we've seen this before. This must be for the game part. This must be the Spectrum game code pumped through the C64 in some form, because there's no reason for a game to look like this in 1989. No reason at all. I can't add anything to what you've said, really. I think you've said everything that needs to be said. I don't understand how anyone could look at this and claim it was fit for release. Dire. Just an awful, awful thing. It's impossible to do anything on it. I tried playing it, and sometimes I scored a goal, but, you're running around, everything's so jerking around in spaces, and you're like, try and pass to someone. It's like, have I passed to my own team? The bit where there's like, and it's not a particularly good arcade game, so how to crack on that, that's not particularly great, but the animation when you do jump up to head it, which is like the arcade game, is dead stupid. You just like jumps up and you go, it's like, oh, for God's sake, this is really bad. So, wow, 10% on a compilation. Can you, I mean, they never sent it out for review, did they? Clearly. No,
clearly. They can't have done. It would have got blasted at the time. Can you imagine this coming to the hands of the reviewers at the time as Zap?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it did look like it did go out, because Lemon has Games Machine reviewed this in January 90.
So they just didn't send it to Zap. They gave it 23%.
Your Commodore, January 90, gave it 70%.
What? Come on.
I know.
Come on. That cannot... All right, okay, well, no.
It also went out to Data magazine, which is a German, a Swedish magazine, in December '89, and it got 2 out of 10.
There's a surprise. That's still too high.
Commodore Force number 7, they gave it 14%. He's zapping it. There you go, and Zap gave it 10. Christ on a bike. Bad game. Bad game. Just don't play this. Don't play it. Dreadful. There we go. That's 2 stellar games to start September off with. We're going to go away, wash our eyes, take a quick break, and come back and talk about some music. There's lots going on in the music charts for September 1992, so please do stick with us.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Crash landing on a green planet full of vector graphics, can Sarah find a way to escape for real? Or is she stranded on a planet full of sun, sea, and chippy tea forever? Imagine finding yourself in a cinematic karate game, having to rescue a princess, or remain stuck under the run-stop key forever. What about finding yourself on a space freighter full of robots? Could you clear the decks? If you were transported back to a Wild West town, having to round up outlaws, could you survive until sunset? What if you were a wizard with a cat who must colour worlds? Could you beat the game, or would a virtual guitar solo announce your demise? Sarah might just be another visitor, but she doesn't want to stay a while, never mind forever. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, discover if there's a way out in Escape from the Commodore 64. Visit davidhearnwriter.com to find out more.
And we're back. It is Semba. Look what those games have done to me. They've just taken words out.
Brains.
They've taken consonants away. It is September 1992, and the music is thus the number one singles for the month. The first week, Rhythm as a Dancer by Snap. For a further week. I mean, it was all last month, wasn't it? And now it's held on for another week in September.
Held on to its little crown, held it on.
Yeah. But replacing that for the final 3 weeks of the month of September 1992 was Ebenezer Good by The Shaman. I can't believe that song was I forgot it was number one for so long. Crazy. This country is crazy sometimes.
It is.
But, there you go. We spoke about it before anyway. It is what it is. It's Ebenezer Good. Number one albums. For the first 2 weeks of the month, it was Tubular Bells 2 by Mike Oldfield.
It was. Yes. Good album, actually. We'll probably talk about it in a bit, but yeah.
Talk about it here.
I remember when it came out, Gary was raving about it at the time, and rightly so. I do quite like it. It's got some really good, it's a bit of an album of two halves. I really like the first part of the album. I'm not so keen on the second part. And then, of course, it's got the famous couple of tracks in it, hasn't it? The ones that sort of take a little hint out of the original Tubular Bells, and then you've got Sentinel, and it's pretty good. And I listened to it not long ago, actually, in the car when I was I needed to try and calm myself down from some crazy driving that was going on the road. And it is quite a nice album to put on in that respect. It's kind of good. And of course, it's Mike Oldfield, isn't it? The guy, there's nothing he can't play. So he can play any instrument on earth. There's instruments that haven't even been invented that he can already play.
True. I mean, I've noted that I always find it crazy how some people are just born so musically talented, ridiculously so in some cases. I imagine if he'd been born 300 years prior, it'd have been like another Mozart or something if he wasn't dead by the age of 4, which he could very well have been back then. But it's just ridiculous, isn't it? How good some people are. And as soon as you start playing that guitar, it's that Mike Oldfield guitar sound, isn't it? You just know that Mike Oldfield guitar sound. Yeah. You start playing it. I've never seen a person have so many guitars, though. He goes through so many in that.
He does go through quite a few.
And I think as well, you've got to. I mean, it's ambitious, isn't it? Doing Tubular Bells 2. I mean, that's a brave thing to do. Could have all gone horribly wrong.
It could have. I mean, if at least he did it when it won. What's his name?
Doing even him doing it, sort of thing. Tubular Bells was obviously his, saved Virgin, created Virgin Media Music, did it? Did all that kind of stuff. Was this massive hit in 1974 or something? I can't remember. Huge thing, and then he does. Nearly 20 years later, does Tubular Bells 2, and that's people age musically, they change a bit. It's not, you're not got your young sort of belief that nothing you can't do. Could have gone all horribly wrong. Luckily it didn't. That's quite good.
True.
Anyway, replacing that for the third week of the month was the Best of Belinda Volume 1. That's Belinda Carlisle.
Belinda Carlisle to you and me, yeah.
Yeah. I imagine this was quite a good best of. I've liked quite a lot of her songs, so I bet this was a good listen.
She's not terrible, she's cracking looking. The songs are okay. They weren't offensive. Are they inoffensive? They're all right. So this is bound to be a collection of those ones that everyone remembers. What was it? Live Your Life, Be Free, and all those other ones that she had.
There'll be loads.
Yeah.
Heaven is a Place on Earth, things like that. For the final week, we have Gold Greatest Hits by ABBA.
Which I think we talked about that in the past couple of weeks.
I think we have done. I think this has come back to number one. Yeah, I mean, the revival continues, isn't it? This is the comeback, the start of the comeback, I suppose. Anyway.
Yeah.
Singles. 6th of September, straight in at number 14 was Jam by Michael Jackson.
I don't remember it. You do remember it? I don't remember it.
Yeah, I do remember this, Jam. I remember the video as well where he's playing with, what's his face? Shaquille O'Neal, is it? No, Michael Johnson, sorry. Michael Johnson. He's doing the basketball. I do remember this. And the music is really... Him and Janet Jackson have just become interchangeable at this point.
Well, yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
In terms of the sort of sound that they've got going on. like you've noticed, it's very heavy on the rhythm, and that's like Rhythm Nation. They just sound like coming from the same place at this point in time. But,
yeah, true.
It is what it is, isn't it? It's a Michael Jackson song. Number 21 is How Soon Is Now, 1992 by the Smiths.
I have to look. I don't really like him. I did recognise it though. I recognise this one because I think it's from that era of the Smiths. We had a few songs out that this is one with the kind of sound.
Yeah, it's like classic guitar intro. Yeah. So it's yeah. So it's got. I like the guitar. Like I said last time, I like the guitar. Don't like the vocals. Never liked his vocals.
No, same.
In at number 22 is Success Has Made a Failure of Our Home by Sinead O'Connor. You like this?
It was okay. It was a good arrangement. I'm just not sure. I wasn't sure of it. And she's got an album, hasn't she? So it's off that. I was just never that big a Sinead O'Connor fan. I liked Nothing Compares to You and stuff like that, but it's not that I didn't think she was talented, because she clearly is. I just wasn't digging the songs. I wasn't into that kind of sound. So
that's fair enough. This sounded like a song looking for a film soundtrack to me.
Yeah, it did have that vibe. It did have that vibe, without a doubt. Yeah.
So that's what I thought. In at number 30 is Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights. By Sonia. By Sonia, Graham. Sonia.
Yeah. Take a classic 70s disco track and then, give it the 90s gobshite crap remix treatment, and you end up with this awful proto-Matrix vibe. I thought it had that kind of weird vibe. I don't know. I'm not, this was a collection of, the sexy people dancing. We've got a lot of those in this episode of the videos of the sexy people dancing. And obviously Sonia's in there, cavorting around and doing her thing. She's doing nothing offensive, but she's just doing nothing that she hasn't been told to do. It's just, nobody was really into this kind of thing. Really. I think, I'm not sure what audience she was aiming this at. So
no, I don't either.
No, I don't know who was buying it. It was probably popular in the Ritzes and the clubs like that, maybe. And Pete Walkman
probably
was
probably in the 9 till 10 slot where no one was dancing or anything.
I mean, it would be then, and it was probably getting a lot of. I don't know if she's still with Stock Aitken or Walkman. I think she I was going to say dismembered then. I think she probably had dismembered. I think she disbanded from them, so she wasn't with them. Maybe. So, but why you would release this a cover of a song like Boogie Nights is just beyond me. I don't understand. Boogie Nights is a great track as well. You don't need to be dabbling with that. So nah.
No. And at number 33 is Monster by L7. It's the weakest single yet. Everglade and the ones I can't remember. But I don't remember them after this. I think I had the album. I think I had these 3 singles and then they disappeared. I think that tells you all you need to know, really. Yeah,
exactly that. It wasn't very good. It was a bit like you said, they're getting progressively not very good, aren't they? And so this one's kind of a bit borderline forgettable, and I'm not sure that anyone's really digging their kind of crusty brand at the moment. So
no, I think they've disappeared by this point. And at number 38 is I Just Want to Dance With You by Daniel O'Donnell.
Oh, this bloody thing. It just, the whole thing had a weird vibe, didn't it? I found a Top of the Pops performance and it looked like he'd time travelled to like 1978 Top of the Pops. It just looked, or it could be a Eurovision type thing. I mean, it was, they had a lot of that type of thing around Top of the Pops back in the mid to late 70s. Slight tan, bleached teeth, popular in Ireland, I guess. I mean, nowadays he'd be accused of having turkey teeth, wouldn't he? But back then they didn't go to Turkey for their teeth, so where he got them from, I don't know. Maybe there is his own pearly white gnashes, I don't know. But it sounded like crack karaoke to me.
Yeah, and I wanted to know what was going on with that shirt. Buttoned up to the top and no collar. Never good. I hated Grandad shirts. Hated them. A pox on them.
They don't call them Grandad shirts anymore now. I think they've got a new name for them. I can't remember what it was now, but they're not.
Well, they were back then.
Grandad shirts.
And it had runes around it as well. Runes, Graham. Probably part of his pact with the devil for those teeth.
Maybe that's what powers him. I mean, somebody cast a spell on him. I mean, you don't want to do those things. That's just the spell has been cast on him. That's it.
He's got wearing the collar.
It's a spellcaster.
It could possibly. Number 40 is Just Like a Man by Delamitri. So I'm going to hang on just before you say what you put here. This is a great chain of thought writing because none of these sentences connect in any way, but they were all appropriate for this song. So just put what you say what you put here.
I put it, his hair has taken over now, which it has. They don't look like the band that recorded this song. Where do his sideburns end exactly? Sounds like Wet, Wet, Wet.
It's like none of them have connect.
Of course they do. His hair's taken over. Where do we, the music didn't sound like it was, when you look at the video.
It's like this chain of thought you were writing and going, where's his sideburns? Sounds like
you listen to it, for a start, they don't look like the band that sang that song. It's like you can see them mouthing the words. I agree with you, but it don't. Look, look and the sound don't go together. He's all sideburn and no forehead, isn't he? I don't understand. And then, of course, they do. It is a wet, wet, wet song in Waiting, I think, really. That.
Yeah.
But I agree. It was a bit trained of thought. I was just streaming thought through. I was channeling.
You were. In at number 45, you've got Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad by Def Leppard. I think they needed someone so bad at this point to edit them and tell them not to release this. Because this is dreadful. This is what happens when you take 7 years to write an album and no one says no to you on anything. You end up horribly out of date and grasping for any old pish. This is, 1985 hysteria, 1992, this rubbish. And it's like, the world has changed so much that who wants this crap? No one. Nobody. Do you enjoy this? I bet you didn't enjoy this, did you?
No, I did not.
No. In at number 50 is Sleeping Satellite by Tasmin Archer. This was a big tune, I think. I think this gets to number one at some point, I think.
It's all right. I mean, the lyrics are gibberish. And there's a lot of blame game going on in there in that. Blame you for this and I blame you for that. Video was very spinny. I don't know. Don't be a blamer. I don't think be a blamer at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good look.
Well, I tried to listen. I read what you've written, so I tried to listen to the lyrics, and I think it's about the lack of adventure that humankind was not showing at the time, or was showing at the time. It's about not going. Something about we went to the moon and now we're not going again, and we're not doing it, and there's all this sort of thing. I don't know. I don't think it's allegorical. Anyway, I think it's just what it is. 13th September. In at number 9 is the theme from MASH. Everything I do it for you. I don't know what that is. Manic Street Preachers. I wonder if they're backed with Fatima Mansions. I don't know what this is. But yeah, this is the theme from MASH by Manic Street Preachers, really. And I like this version. I mean, you put why. I'm guessing because it's about suicide, which, Manics were never a particularly happy band, were they? So
yeah, I guess. I'm not a fan of the original song, actually, but it was all right, I suppose.
Yeah, the thing with this, I think if you listen to this song, it for me, this track bridges the gap from the first album sort of punkiness to the second album, the more rock sound they're going for, especially as you get into the outro of this where they sort of ramp it up a little bit and they get a bit more. This sounds like a song from that second album, much more, and like they've moved on, So this isn't. I think this is a step from album 1 to album 2, and that's what it is. But right. I know it's good live. I remember when I saw them live, they did this, and it was very good. But it is, if you like the original, because it's the theme from MASH, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There you go. Number 11 is Iron Lion Zion by Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I can't profess to be a big fan of Bob Marley. It's not. I don't like it, or that I don't think they're very talented. They are. It's just I don't know. I have to be in the right mood for Bob Marley, and it's just this particular track I'm not a huge fan of. I much prefer there's other Bob Marley and the Wailers tracks that I really like if I'm in the mood for them. I don't know, a nice summer's day, if you sat outside, bit of barbecue and that going on, a few people around, that can be quite nice to have that in the background. But I wouldn't profess to know a lot about them either, so it's all right.
No, it's not my bag. It's not my cup of tea. Just I'm not the audience. And
no.
Yeah, there you go. Number 17 is Love Slave by The Wedding Present.
I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for a tinsel-haired banana man version of the Wedding Present singer. I mean, I just wasn't ready for it. I don't quite know what you call that look.
I don't know. I've just noted I'm not sure I wanted to see the wedding presents.
Yeah. It's too much on show, isn't there? There's too much. I mean, just for the, go and watch the video, people that listen to this podcast. He's got gold tinsel hair, rose-tinted glasses, blue lips like he's just sucked off a Smurf, and he's dressed as a banana. He's actually painted his skin yellow, and the rest of the band members are all different colours as well. I'm guessing it's something to do with Love Slave. I don't know what, though.
I don't know either. But yeah, when it first started, I was like,
yeah,
Jesus.
Same. I was like, good. I was like, no, It's frightening a little bit, really.
It was. But it's you go and make your own mind up. We can only advise you.
You be the judge of your own mind.
Yeah, but just be careful because there are wedding presents on display.
There are.
In at number 28 is Generations by the Inspiral Carpets.
Do you like
better
that?
Than the last few. It's better than the last few tracks. At least had a little bit of oomph to it.
I suppose you could. Yeah. I'm not hugely struck on them, but I can. Yeah, it's all right. Didn't sound terrible.
No, it's not. It's not brilliant, but it's like this is okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right about the video. It does look like a shortened version of Skinamarink. Very odd video, wasn't it? Really odd.
Yes, very odd.
Yeah. Unlike the next one, number 29 is They're Here by EMF.
They're here.
Why are they here?
You know, when I read that you'd written that in our little notes that we share, it made me laugh out loud, that, because it's just so, why are they here? It's like such an angry, why are you even here? And then the next question you asked was, did anyone want them here? No, is the answer to that. And it's clearly obvious. The video was crap. Everything about this crap. Go away. You had your hit. Nobody liked that one particularly, but we all tolerated it because it was unbelievable. Whoa. And it was in Gulliver's a lot, wasn't it? After that, you've forgotten. You're like the Jedward of the times. You're just gone somewhere. Nobody wants to think about you. Go away.
Yeah. EMU.
Yeah, exactly. EMU. Yeah. EMU. Get lost. Emph. Emph. We don't want you around Emph.
No, we don't.
Emph. Didn't come 9, he came Emph. Not 9th, but Emph.
Is that the same guy who needs the first class return to Dottingham?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, have you got any Emph thingles? Get out.
Get out.
Person.
I want to hear the new one.
Take your Nova virus with you crazy.
In at number 31 is Digging in the Dirt by Peter Gabriel.
I'm not a Gabriel fan. I don't like any of it. He's the Sledgehammer guy, isn't he? Sledgehammer, you know. So he's over-animated videos. Yeah, I'm not into it.
Inverse My Weekend Man.
This isn't a very good track by him, even by the standards of the others, which I don't really like anyway. And the video is over-animated. There's too much bloody animation going on in it. Too much.
Yeah, it's a bit self-indulgent, this, I found. I didn't like it particularly. Yeah, just a bit.
He calls himself Peter Gabriel, for goodness sake. You might be, put wings on him and a halo if you think bloody hell. Who do you think you are? That's what he says is his name. His name's actually
Bob Gabriel.
His name's not Bob. What is it with you and Bob? Everybody is Bob.
Easiest name to say.
I was going to say Cormorant Flagellant then, or something very elaborate, and buke him out with Bob.
Because it always works. Bob Gabriel. I'm Bob Gabriel. Nice to meet you, Bob.
I'm Bob. But that's too normal. Bob Gabriel. That's like Peter Gabriel. It's the same as Peter. Peter or Bob. Nothing
Peter
special.
Gabriel sounds a bit fancy. But there's nothing fancy about Bob Gabriel.
Go for the Neville approach. Call him Gabriel or Peter.
Peter. Yeah, we could do that. Neville. Yeah. I don't know. It's not a particularly great song though, and he's just riffing off thingy.
It's not a good song. Isn't Neville a song by David Bowie?
No, it's Neville. Neville is Peter and Phil Neville's dad.
Yeah, no, but sorry, Neville. Da, 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 da. Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, in at number 35 is Stinking Thinking by the Happy Mondays.
Yeah, long past their use by date now, these guys. This is obviously Paul Oakenfold or somebody who had experience in the studio to produce this, with the Happy Mondays doing as little as functionally possible in the process. Daft shit with Bez and Sean Ryder on at the video. Looks like they had no clue what was happening around them or what their actual purpose is at all. And that's probably something that, nowadays they're quite fun celebrities to have about. Watched them on the Brits recently and they were really funny on that. Although Bez was wearing a really weird hat. Something that the guy in The Simpsons, Willie, would have been proud of. Groundskeeper Willie. But but even so, this isn't a very great song by their standards, but they weren't involved in it. So it's okay in that way. It sounds like a... But
in the video, there is a sign on the wall for a £1/2 burger for £2.80.
That's quite cheap, isn't it, nowadays?
That's when those were the days you get £1/2 burger for £2.80.
Yeah, that's something nowadays that'd set you back at least 10, 15 quid, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's right next to Sean Ryder, so I'm not sure if it's actually just more of a comment on him. But
to be fair, he does look like his hair's made out of 100% burger, doesn't it?
It does. He's a £1/2 burger. I'm Sean Ryder, £2.80.
I
love the fact that it's stuck on the wall in that cut out bit of paper, just a paper card, as you would do.
Yeah, you get your zigzag cutting out, and you cut around the edges because it's star power, isn't it? Look at that with that bright orange stuff that you get on there. They do that at there's a market.
Even got a star on it. Look,
Hemswell Market. Where you go to Hemswell Market, and there's like a guy that sells all tools and weirdly eggs. And on the eggs, there's those star signs, the kind of $6 for a dozen clucks and that sort of thing.
I know. A £1/2 burger, £2.80. Love that.
Yikes.
That's a lot of burger as well. That's a lot of meat in it.
You've had burgers like that regularly.
I did. Yes, I did. When usually at the end of the Gary's barbecues, when there was just about 4 burgers left.
How many? 4 £1/2 burgers, and you wonder why you farted yourself unconscious.
No, I didn't. I was still awake. You lot were unconscious.
So that's 2 pounds of burger meat you ate, as well as bun and
that's
other
not
things.
as heavy as that that bloody thingy we got from that kebab shop
calzone.
that time. The calzone we got, we weighed it and it was 1.5 kilograms.
You still ate it though.
We did.
There's a commitment to eating those things, isn't there? One of those calzones. That was dark matter calzones from where were they from? The Istanbul kebab place, weren't they? In Grimsby.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, got to go for it. Once you've ordered it and it turns up, to back out would be to lose face.
I think I think it was £6 or £7 back in the day as well, which is that's alarmingly good value as well. There was so much meat in those. It was actually unbelievable. How much was in them. Anyway, solid food for a good healthy living. If you made it through alive.
Well, when you're drunk, you have the ability to
actually passed out
eat your own body weight.
I've seen you pass out eating one halfway through.
I've passed out eating one, woken up and carried on eating.
You did, yeah. Like no time had passed for you, but an hour had passed for the rest of us. It's like you were approaching a black hole, strangely enough.
I was mid-bite.
You was approaching a brown hole.
It wasn't good. So I still think of that today. Anyway,
I'm sure you're still passing it today, let alone anything else.
Probably. 20th of September. At number 12 is Fire, Jericho by The Prodigy.
Yes. Finally, The Prodigy starting, not quite there yet, but starting to show Liam Howlett actually is starting to flex his more Prodigy sounding muscles. It's not quite there, but this is like I've been saying over the past sort of few times the Prodigy have appeared, each step is one step closer to Jilted Generation for me. And you could really hear it in this one. There's some sounds that are used in Jilted Generation, this one for a start. The pace is kind of more at the pace of some of the Jilted Generation stuff. It's still not quite right. There's still a few tweaks in the machine. There's a few synths starting in the right places, but you can hear the direction. And I think this is a great track for it. The 12-inch of this is really, it's like a statement of intent. It's a really great track, the 12-inch version of it, because there's a lot more to it. It feels like more of a track that you'd find on an album like Jilted Generation. So, it's a really great step in the right direction for the Prodigy. And the Prodigy are one of my favourite bands over time. So this was really nice to go back to actually today.
Yeah, I think for me, it's still a bit too early in the Prodigy. It's still a too early Prodigy mode. I just felt this feels a bit all over the place listening to it. It's like, it feels like loads of ideas all scrambling for attention.
I think you need to listen to the 12-inch version.
Quite blessed. I just listened to the one you linked to, so I just listened to that, and I was like, for me, the Prodigy always got a lot better when the songs get more focused and they have this is the song. This feels like scattershot still at this point.
Oh, I would say I don't know scattershot. I think Liam Howlett is a bit of a sampling genius, really. So I just don't think he's quite got the formula right in his head where he was going. It's the right direction. It's just not quite there yet. But like you say, it is a bit more slipshot than the later stuff when he's really focused, like you say. But it's getting there.
Number 15 is Jeremy by Pearl Jam.
Oh, I listened to this again today, and actually, strangely, I'd put my young lad onto Pearl Jam because he told me that he liked, and he told me he'd been listening to a bit of Nirvana, and Heart Shaped Box was his favourite. And I said, well, if you like Nirvana, then really you should be listening to more of this other stuff as well that was around at the same time, though not of the same genus. And he absolutely loved Vitology and 10. Loved them. He was raving about it in the car when I went and picked him up.
How would you not?
And this is, he's a 17-year-old, current 17-year-old. So, but he really loved it. And it just shows you that these amazing albums just transcend, time and space. They're genuinely brilliant. And that song I think it's not my favourite Pearl Jam song, but it's certainly in my top 5 Pearl Jam songs of all time. I really like Alive and a few others, but it is amazing. The video was really poignant, really good.
Yeah, it's a great song. You can't it's just another demonstration of how good 10 was and still is.
Yeah,
still a great album.
Always worth a revisit now and again. That I think you're right.
And speaking of getting 17-year-old sons onto stuff, I got mine onto Ministry the other week.
Yay!
We brought up Sam 69 and NWO, and I sat him down and I went, have you heard Ministry? No? All right, let me play you NWO. And then Just One Fix, Bit of Thieves. Yeah. And then Till Spirit Heart. You went, oh yeah, these are good. I'll give these a listen. So don't know whether he has or not. But
the 17-year-olds are open to this sort of music nowadays because there's nothing for them out there. They're lost. The Spotify and the AI music that's filled it full of shite and all the other stuff, and these mysterious acts that I don't even remember the name of, that Gary knows all of them by heart because he's got young daughters, so he has to listen to them regularly in a car. I'm not tortured with that. So I'm able to, I got my lad listening to Faith No More. I've got him listening to Pearl Jam. We've done a bit of Ministry and Front and Assembly and there's a great moment when you're sat with your lad in a car, sort of moshing out a bit to Mind Phaser by Frontline Assembly. You're thinking, I was his age when I really got into this. It's a nice feeling. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Unfortunately, Gary's never going to have that feeling. Not in that way, but it's different. He's got Taylor Swift, doesn't he? So he's got that instead.
Yes, yeah. It was always good when he used to drive him to school and would be listening to Rush. He got dead into Rush for a while.
Is he into Rush then? Because I know that
I think he's not
Rush.
so much these days. He did used to be, because he used to love. And weirdly enough, his favourite song was Jacob's Ladder.
He's a drummer, and your lad is a drummer. So is he not into Rush?
He's still playing drums. I honestly don't know. He's more into things like Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica and things like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, that's his jam. I said that to my lad. If that's your jam, that's your jam. But I mean, that's cool. Yeah. Not a bad thing to be into. It's better than I don't even know an artist to even tell you who they are. No, I don't recognise him. So.
But that's his thing anyway.
What's she called? Tulips. He's not into tulips, is he? What's a Dua Lipa? Tulips.
No, he's into metal. He's into metal.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Dua Lipa is. I've seen it and I'm aware of its existence, but I don't really understand it.
No, that's not
too old. I'm too old.
It's not for us. It's not for us.
I mean, for us. I sometimes wish when I see them on TV they were. To be honest, I think, wow, I wish that was for me. No,
but it's not.
Never going to be. It's never going to be.
It's not. No. In at number 17 is Metal Mickey by Suede.
I've been trying with Suede recently. I've been trying to listen to more Suede because I was recently rewatched. I've watched it a million times, but I watched The World's End because I find it quite bizarrely humorous. And there's a Suede track in it that appears in it every time. And every time it makes me go, I must listen to more Suede. And then I do. And then I'm like, they're all right. They annoy me after a while. And it happens every time. So it recently happened. And weirdly, this was the track that came on the randomizer on the car. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me. This. What was his name, that singer?
Brett Anderson.
Brett, I thought you'd know it.
Oh, yeah. I was cursed with it. My partner, Emma, at the time, my girlfriend at the time, she was obsessed with him and him.
Yeah.
I never liked him at the time. And it was probably because of that. And I was like, stop going on about him, for fuck's sake.
So she was on my course. She wasn't on your course. She was on my course. Don't think you were the only one tortured with that shit, because she was like constantly banging on about it. We're like, go and see Adrian, he loves them. I think it might have been me that told her how much you liked Suede originally.
Damn you.
I know.
The thing is, they're like the Smiths in the sense, because they're obviously a bit of a follow-on to the Smiths, and people have sort of, and they took a lot of inspiration from them. But it's like, I really like Bernard Butler's guitar lines. The guitar is really good in it.
Yeah. No,
but I can't be doing with his vocals. So it's like the Smiths.
I do. Sometimes I think it's quite refreshing to have a vocal that's quite a bit different in that way. And because I thought that way about Muse for a long time, I'm like, I can't stand Muse. And then when I actually listened to everything that Muse had ever recorded, I actually came to really like him. Granted, I was tied down to a table and forced to listen to it for hours. But you do come to appreciate not really, but you do come to appreciate after a while that I was trying to just get over that kind of initial thing with Suede and that kind of tonality.
Remember, I've listened to a lot of Suede.
Yeah, I can imagine. You were forced tied to a table and forced,
absolutely,
forced to listen to it.
And I've never. I don't like his. There's something in his phrasing that obviously the Mockney.
That's it. Squeaky kind of Harold. It's a bit.
It's like sub-Bowie.
It's like a young version of Steptoe singing.
Yeah, and I've never grown to like it. There are some songs where he's not quite so pronounced, which I'm like, okay, but for the majority of the time, I find his vocals very, very annoying. But I listen to it because I really like the guitar lines.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think Bernard Butler is a really, really good guitarist, good indie guitarist. But just a good guitarist. And if you ever listen to this album with Ian, I can't remember, McCalmont and Butler.
Yeah, you was well into that, weren't you? The McCalmont and Butler.
It's a really cracking album that is. With You Do and Yes are great tracks.
It's I Feel Alright. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, fabulous song. In at number 21 is I Feel Love by Messiah featuring Precious Wilson.
Oh, just no. Donna Summer and I Feel Love is a, the bona fide disco mixed with a bit of, Giorgio Moroder magic. It's just a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece for any of the old synth nuts like what I am, and anybody really, but it is an absolute masterpiece. It's still good now, for goodness sake. Even when you listen to it now, it's just amazing. Never do that to it. No, that's taking a dump on the chest of that song. I don't like it. Be gone.
No.
Demon
too bad
from
even
hell.
for Hour of Shite, this.
Oh, it's the hour of, that's the hour of the golden shower, that one. Get out of the way.
In at number 26 is Connected by Stereo MCs.
Oh God, this. As soon as I read the words "connected," I knew it was going to be in my head for the rest of the goddamn day. As soon as I read it, I'm like, oh no, connected.
Writings on the wall. So you might fall.
Stumble, you might fall. Stumble, you might fall. Yeah. I was like, as soon as I read it, I didn't even need to hear it. I read that, and I'm like, oh no. But I don't mind the song. I don't. It's actually got quite a nice vibe. The question I was asking, I couldn't remember. Is this Gulliver's Gold? I couldn't remember if I false remembered it.
I think it used to get played. I think it did Friday and Saturday nights. Yeah, I think it did. There was always. I always remember just being lots of dreadlocks on the dance floor, slow swinging of the head.
Yeah,
sort of that kind of dancing.
Connected.
Lots of that.
Writings on the wall.
Whipping each other's eyes out. So,
just imagine it's because it's sort of an in between song, in it. So it was in the Gulliver's tradition. It would have probably been played between Ministry and the B-52s or something. But
yeah, true.
Because it was random, wasn't it? The collection,
or on a Saturday between Kylie Minogue and then this, and then
you get the Rolling
Def
Stones, and then Def Leppard, and then it was just the most random. Like that DJ had no flow. It was just like whatever caught his eye, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, this was always on, but it was never a one for me.
Gonna get myself connected. He's done it. It's in earworm. It is.
And at number 27 is it so well this ain't gonna get it out. This is Only Natural by Crowded House, a song so bland it even bores itself.
It was twiddly dee pop, wasn't it? It was middle of the road, so middle of the road in fact that they filmed the video in the middle of the road, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Oh God, this is awful. Number 30 was Do I Have to Say the Words by Bryan Adams. But otherwise it's an instrumental. Yeah, or Don't Feel You Have to, mate, is what I thought. You could always just not sing it. Gravel Ballads. Is there a space for them in the world? The old gravel ballad. That's probably the name of his. I don't know. Maybe it's the name of his restaurant. Husky tones, aren't they? The husky tones of Mr. Adams, soothing, like a dentist chair sort of thing. Really, that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a poor follow up to the old Everything I Do It For You, isn't it? Much weaker song, but a Def Leppard in there again. I felt.
Again,
did you hear the Def Leppard? A bit of the Leopard.
I did.
Bit of Leppy in there. Bit of more like Def Leppard, I think, at this point.
Oh, Def Adams.
I'm beginning to think he is. Is he not listening to what he's saying and recording?
Brian Lepard.
It's so schmaltzy, isn't it? Weepy. Lick My Love Pump, come back. Spinal Tap, right.
And as you know, the video is very filmed in brown. And I was like, why is it brown? Why is it brown? And I was wondering, was this intentional or a printing error? Did it sort of,
it's very
did the
brown.
Work Experience boy leave the white balance on the wrong setting? I was wondering. It's like dreadful.
So, he left it on the brown setting. It's like there's white balance and it goes all the way over to brown. It's like that balance is well off if you've got it brown instead of white.
I found myself boring my partner the other day because we were watching something. I think it was Come Down With Me, Four in a Bed, and then obviously filmed something outside. Yeah. And it kept cutting between these two shots, and clearly on one of them they'd not set the white balance right. This guy's face was puce. It was so red, and everything was wrong. And so I went, "Oh, they've clearly not set the white balance right." And I didn't read the signs that she didn't care. Do you know what white balance is? So I spent about 5 minutes telling her what the white balance was. At the end of it, I was so bored of even listening to myself. I was like, "Oh, you poor,
I'm getting
woman."
proper airplane vibes. So it's just next time, just imagine you turn around to her and she's just like there with a carry bag over her own head. Like,
yeah, you had to get the fire extinguisher. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I'm so boring sometimes.
Did she reach the point where she's going, yeah.
Yeah, she picks
and then
phone.
Changing the channel. Yeah, I was going to say, she's trying to give you all the signals gently.
And I was
just turning around and going, "Shut up about white balance, you boring bastard."
Yeah. Oh well. I reminisced on it afterwards and going, oh, that's really dull. Why did I do that?
Do you remember, just you with a flashback of all those times you set the white balance wrong yourself? Oh, should have studied. Should never have allowed that to happen.
But it was, I noticed it. I went, "So the white balance is wrong. Let me tell you about the white balance." Oh, you boring man.
Oh, dear. Wow.
Anyway.
She's laid at night going to sleep and it's just echoing in her mind. Let me tell you about the white balance. Let me tell you about the white balance. And you're going outside going, "Gonna need a little time."
Lisa needs braces.
You had a still on top moment.
I did.
Back on top moment. You had a proper back on top moment. You went over to a bridge and slammed your fist in it. "Gonna need a little time."
I need to.
Limmy. You've went full Limmy. Brilliant. I love it.
I did. So boring.
Brilliant.
In at number 37 is Radicchio by Orbital.
Yeah, no.
It sounded like Fine Day.
Well, it samples it.
Oh, does it? That's probably why.
Yeah,
then.
it's sampled and reversed into it. It's just, it's not a fine day today. It's going to be a yep, it's not in it. It's one
right.
That sort of thing.
Right.
That sort of fancy stuff. Fancy pants, crazy sample core. Right? Gary probably liked it. I always say that about Orbital because I've got nothing else to say about it.
There isn't, is there? Until you get to the box, there isn't. In at number 38 is Just Right by Soul or Soul.
Oh, they're back again, aren't they? Noisy though, this one, wasn't it? Normally they're quite chilled out. This one wasn't. It was quite thumpy and loud, and the video was very jiggly and lots of squiggling going on.
Shite to me.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And this is it was for me not sold or sold really. It was a bit bland. So yeah, cavortion though, wasn't it? Cavorting people.
Is that Exor? Is that Exor?
That's an exclusive or. Yeah, it could be classed as an exclusive or. Yeah, I think there's a way of writing the Boolean logic of not sold or sold. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Not very good anyway.
God, we thought the bloody talking about white balance was boring.
Absolutely. We're shedding listeners by the minute.
Okay, let's go into Boolean logic for a real laugh. It's what the laughs are these days.
Absolutely.
Have you watched have
you watched the comedians on Netflix? There's nothing but Boolean comedy.
Boolean comedy. Exactly. All about the Booleans.
27th September. In at number 14 is Drive by R.E.M. Nothing funny about this, is there?
No, bleak. It sounds like R.E.M. to me, which for me, whinge pop, I call it.
I think this is a great song, though. This is one of my favourites of theirs.
You like R.E.M. though? I never did.
Yeah, video. I think the video's just arty. I don't know. It means something. It maybe does.
Yeah,
I quite like the way. I quite like the sort of visuals at the top and all the arms and everything, and the way it's shot.
Oh yeah, cool. Really well made. Don't get me wrong. All of it is. It's just not my jam at all by this point. I'm listening to Ministry at this point. They're like the antithesis of R.E.M. They're like the opposite of R.E.M.
If you go back to it, you're still not particularly digging it.
I like the R.E.M. songs that everyone's like. No, but I do like the ones that everyone likes, but I don't like a lot of R.E.M. stuff, I'll be honest.
No, that's fair enough. And at number 16 is Sentinel, Single Restructure by Mike Oldfield.
You got to say it in the way that he says it in the songs. The Sentinel, slightly single restructure. It's a shorter version of the Sentinel, a little bit. And I listened to it again, and weirdly, when it's shorter, it sounded more enigma-y. I don't know if that means that they've used different instruments in that one. They might have done, because he can play everything, can't he? There's nothing he can't play.
Yeah, that is true.
It's the MacGyver of the music world, isn't he? I was thinking about that the other day. You could assemble a whole bunch of stuff in a room and put it in front of him, and he'd form an instrument out of it, and it'd be like record an album and you wouldn't even have a recording studio. By the time you went back in there, you'd have one. Like, how did you make all of this stuff? How did you make that synthesizer? Oh, well, I found a wire under your sofa there, and I've got a shoe. And I'm like, your shoes aren't even made of leather; they're made of plastic.
So would they be like the A-Team? Like they have a BA in there? I ain't playing no flute.
He's in the band. Can you imagine the A-Team band with Mike Oldfield as the main sort of producer? I'd go for that. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? BA rapping, facing.
Love it when an album comes together.
Oh, there's the title. Oh my God. Let's do it. We should form a band right now, an 18 covers band.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, there you go. These things write themselves, or don't. In at number 17, I'm Gonna Get You, a Bizarre Inc. featuring Angie Brown.
It's the other earworm. As soon as I read it, I'm like, I know what this is. As soon as wow, it's your time. I was like, no, I'm gonna get you, baby.
You know you gotta be mine.
Yeah, exactly.
This echoed out every pub you walked past.
It really did. You couldn't escape it. It's like
for months.
Gonna get myself connected. You thought I've had enough. I'm off to the other pub, and then you'd walk in and it'd be that. At the time, there was no escape. You couldn't escape it. It was absolutely everywhere. And you was working in a pub at the time, weren't you? I think.
Yeah.
So you'd have heard it a lot. You'd have heard that a lot, actually.
Yeah, probably. Awful stuff.
Yeah.
Number 22 is Tetris by Dr. Spin. Everything that could be wrong with this is wrong with this. No stone is left unturned to make this as annoying as possible. There's a woo, there's a there's everything about this there's bad sort of Russian. Yeah, there's bad Russian. The video is off. There's Rasputin floating about. Everything about this is just dreadful.
It is bad. It's really bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
as soon as I heard it, I knew you'd hate it. And instantly I was like, you're going to hate it. I mean, really hate it. And I was right about that. And understandably. B-Tech video, wasn't it? Level 2 B-Tech. Maybe even level 1, actually.
God, awful.
They're quite talented. Level 3. Yeah.
It's just
poor attendance.
Rubbish.
Yeah. Not it's rubbish. Awful. Don't listen to it.
No. In at number 23 is Money Love by Nana Cherry.
I don't quite think they know what to do with Nana Cherry at this point. She sort of isn't quite rappy enough to be rappy. She isn't quite poppy enough to be poppy. She isn't quite disco-y enough to be disco-y.
Bit angry though, and a bit angry and a bit thingy. And so it made me think that, do you think somewhere along the line that this kind of thing is what Alanis Morissette just comes along at some point and does it better? Is that kind of cute, kooky, kind of weird, that kind of thing? I don't know, because this song made me think of like, I could hear the sort of things of Alanis Morissette somewhere down the line in this song. Yeah.
I couldn't
it just wasn't working quite. I don't know whether it was just this one, but the way she was kind of dressed, that kind of sort of it sort of a bit alternative indie sort of thing. But it didn't. I don't know. There was something about it, and I was like, this put me in the mind of like Alanis Morissette down the line.
No, I agree with you. I think there's a dotted line there, maybe. It's a mess though, and it's clear that they just don't know quite what to do with her. The song's a mess. No. The video's mess. It's just, and she's really talented, Nana Cherry, in all sorts of, amazing ways. And I just don't think they quite knew where to take her. And I think she sort of disappears a bit. I think she must have got quite frustrated by the inability for the teams of producers and stuff to really find the right vibe for her. So I think I don't know. She does much more after that I remember. It isn't very good.
No, I don't. Number 27 is Goodbye by the Sundays.
Ooh, floaty, wasn't it that? A bit floaty.
Very floaty. I thought this sounded like Proto Cranberries to me.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, that is a great name for a covers band.
What, Proto Cranberries?
The Proto Cranberries, yeah. If you're going to be a Cranberries cover band, be the Proto Cranberries. Goodness, that's amazing, isn't it? I'd be in that band. I can do that. I could sing Zombie like a petite Irish woman.
Yeah, sure you could. I often hear you in the shower.
Yeah, exactly.
God, Dolores is here.
Dolores. Boring, jangly, drifto pop-o-matic on it, stuff like that.
Yeah, we've not heard one of these for a while, have we? Actually, we have, because we've had Saint Etienne and Curve.
Yeah,
that last Curve.
This is like it's them a bit more floaty in it, a bit more. I don't know what the genre is. The video was very saturated, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the Sundays, there was quite a wave of these kind of bands, weren't there? A couple of years back, it was the Sundays and
Happy Mondays, there was another few. Grumpy Tuesdays.
No. The female fronted bands. There was a load of them.
There was loads of them.
A period.
Yeah.
There was a certain sound to them.
Yeah, because what's that one that's like the big super like floaty one? What they called? I can't remember the name. No, there's another one that they're even floatier than that. Like super floaty. Twins. Maybe not as floaty as that. Maybe slightly less floaty. I don't know. We're in between there. Is it Maddie? Not Maddie. Something mad. Begins with M. I can't remember. I was going to say I can't remember the name of it now. It'll come back to me. But yeah, there's floatiness around. But Proto Cranberries. Yeah. And the video was so saturated color wise. The CRTs would have been howling like wild wolves, wouldn't they?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Ooh.
Mazzy Star. That's what I was thinking of.
Mazzy Star. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very floaty.
In at number 32 is Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough by Patti Smith with Don Henley.
I can see, just wipe away those tears, Adrian, because the minute you heard that, I could see you were weeping instantly.
Yeah. And so I was getting interested because you said it was probably written for Bryan Adams, and I was like, I could probably see that. I could see Meatloaf doing this. So I thought I'd have a look. In fact, there are loads of written, but no, this rock ballad was written by Patti Smith and Glenn Burtnick. Now, Glenn Burtnick's a name I've not heard in a long time. Right. This was released as a single in August 92. It reached number 1 in Canada. Glenn Burtnick used to be in Styx.
Hell, Styx?
That's the band, STYX.
Oh, right. He wasn't just trapped in Styx, like underneath.
No, he wasn't just trapped in Styx. But he also had a load of solo stuff. And he had an album out called Heroes and Zeros in 1987, which I owned and really enjoyed. I used to listen to that loads.
Wow, okay. You live and learn. I didn't know. I never heard of him.
Yeah, Glenn Burtnick. I never knew. I had this album by this guy called Glenn Burtnick. I think a friend had played it to me. I went, it's a good rock album. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I had that. And I never knew who he was. And I could never find anything else by him. But turns out he was in Styx. I never knew.
Fair enough.
Now I know. I found something out today that was quite.
Now you know that you didn't know. Now you know.
I know. I'm going to listen to some Styx. In at number 34 is Keep It Coming, Dance Till You Can't Dance No More by CNC Music Factory with Q Unique and Deborah Cooper.
Yeah, not really the direction for me, this sort of stuff. Down the wrong road they've gone. Very Fresh Prince sounding.
Yeah, it's not for me in any way, this. No. Number 35 is Gypsy Woman remix by Crystal Waters and Peace remix by Sabrina Johnson.
Yeah,
it seems to be a charity single for AIDS research, this, so, you know.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know how much money that would have raised. Not enough.
No, probably not. It's not very good, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not good.
Number 37 is Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols. I don't know why this
it's obviously a re-release. No, is it a best of somewhere? I've got a feeling there must be one imminent, something. Now, possibly. I'll say this. I can't say I really like the Sex Pistols. And I think over time, I've not fallen for the kind of, you have to be there at the time, you know, it's punk. It's like, it wasn't actually, really. Punk was a fashion, wasn't it? It was basically a fashion movement pioneered by people like Vivienne Westwood. This band was a marketing brand experiment from Malcolm McLaren. It was an expression of the punk aesthetic in a musical form. They were just teenagers that he got along the ride to do it. They weren't talented in any capacity. They didn't have any of that. Didn't need any of that. That was the plan. But, you know, then they kind of pitched themselves as these bastions of anarchy, which is laughable. They were just really an extension of a brand. They were a bunch of teenagers just told to be rude and obnoxious, because that's, you know, what being punk is. But they weren't actually those things. It's just a marketing exercise, and it was a very successful one. The much better version of this song is Anarchy in the UK by the Ukrainians. Go and listen to that. I'll put a link in the show notes. It's fabulous and much better.
Okay. I don't know much about punk or anything like that, so I couldn't tell you. What I can tell you, though, is that number 38, the Banana Song by GSP, is rubbish. Oh, absolutely rubbish.
Yep.
So, as we said before, we were going to hear anything from your childhood. They'll remix it and put it into some crap rave track, and here you are. So this is Banana Splits.
Yes, it is. And of course, that's, you know, the famous Banana Split song. La, 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 la. I used to have an album called Tunes from the Tunes, which was a collection of all the Hanna-Barbera music from all of their TV shows, and this was on it, which was quite interesting. And the original version, obviously, very weird TV show. That's just a bastardization of that. Not good.
Not good. And at number 39 is Start Me Up by Salt and Pepper.
From the movie Stay Tuned. This was out at the time.
What was that?
Coming out. Do you remember Stay Tuned? I think it's the one with the TV station, and he gets trapped in the TV station and flicking between the channels. A bit like the little bit from Amazon, I think. Amazon Women.
Oh, is it, I thought I saw John Ritter in the video. Is it John Ritter?
He is. John Ritter, yeah. Yeah, it's a comedy with John Ritter, and I can't remember the name of the baddie in it, but he's been in loads of things as the baddie. You'd recognise him. Yeah,
he has, but supposedly I was reading somewhere he's gone down he's a bit of a wrong one. That's why.
Yeah, I think he got arrested and he's been done for bad shit now. But he plays the father in Beetlejuice.
He's the principal in Ferris Bueller, isn't he?
Ferris Bueller, yeah, and of course he's also in. He was in a few bits and bobs, but he's him. It's him.
Bit of a wrong one. I'm not quite. I don't know what the details were. I can't remember, but it's just bad. Anyway, number 40 is One Love in My Lifetime by Innocence. Innocence.
Hashtag hour of shite.
It took me 1 second to agree.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, end of line.
So turn it off. Let's get through the albums. Straight at number 1 on the 6th September was Tubular Bells 2 by Oldfield.
Good stuff.
It was. It is good. Number 2 kept Tourism by Roxette off number 1. Who knew Roxette were still big enough to get number 2? Their album songs we've heard recently have been rubbish.
Well, they're Swedish, remember? So they're going to have good songwriting. They're good at writing songs, the old Swedes, aren't they?
Yeah, but the songs we've listened to in the charts recently have been rubbish.
Yeah, that's true. That is. Maybe there's one good one on there we haven't heard.
Maybe. Number 6 is Unplugged by Eric Clapton. That being quite a big deal.
Yeah, the whole Unplugged thing was quite, going on. Of course, it's where he famously did the Tears in Heaven live performance. And famously, of course, as well as that, the live version of Layla, which is pretty good, I suppose. Yeah.
Number 8 is Paul Weller by Paul Weller.
Missed opportunity to call his album Weller, 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 Hut. Tell me more. He could have done that. Not very good, this. But, it's his debut solo album, though, which I didn't realise. I thought, for some reason, he'd have had loads of albums out. So.
Well, he's had, obviously, the Jam, Style Council, but this is his debut solo album.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's the first one he's done on his own. So what?
Yeah, we've only just. We had the single the other week, didn't we? Which we didn't particularly like very much. That was it's the start of Paul Weller becoming the mod father and things like that.
Yeah, but he never involves his brother, does he? Peter never gets in on the action, and he's quite talented, good actor. Yeah, no, Peter Weller, you bloody fool.
You just said Peter's the same as Bob earlier on.
For God's sake, you and Bob.
Bob Weller.
No, Peter Weller, the actor. Like RoboCop.
I'm aware of Peter Weller's work. Number 11 is America's Least Wanted by Ugly Kid Joe.
Yeah, that's the album.
It's the UK's Least Wanted.
I wanted that. Nobody No one wants, nobody cares.
No, number 23 is Viva España by James Last.
This is weird.
What is it?
It's a version. It's a James Last version of Viva España, the song Viva España. Da, 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 da.
Why?
Viva España. Because of the Olympics, I'm guessing.
God, you know how we said like Mike Oldfield is like so really talented. It's like
it's weird because in the video
James
that I
Last.
found of it, there's a footage of James Last, and it looks like he's saying something, but it's just music. It's really weird, and he's got no teeth. It's like kind of unnerving. I mean, he doesn't need his teeth. He doesn't need his teeth to compose, does he? I suppose maybe he does.
Suppose not. Number 29, I Was Warned by Robert Cray.
A blues album. If you like your blues, you probably like that.
Probably. I don't know what he's warned about. 13th September. In at number 2 is The Best of Belinda, Volume 1. Belinda Carlisle.
Yes, we did.
Number 8 is Amused to Death by Roger Waters.
Old Misery Guts like this one, doesn't he?
Yeah. Who, Gary?
Yes.
Okay.
I seem to remember him really liking it. It's probably very good, though. I don't know.
Yeah, he likes his thing he done, his Floyd and stuff.
He likes his Floyd and his Roger Waters. I do remember him really liking this, but he's probably going to correct me and say, no, I didn't like it. I thought it was crap. But I thought he did like it. I don't know. Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't. I like this, though. Number 10 is Copper Blue by Sugar.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this, so I think you like it, dear.
I haven't listened to it in absolute years. I think it was because Copper Blue or Sugar did. There was a song that Mega City 4 covered, something a bit lonely. I can't remember the full title of the track, and that got me onto Sugar. And then I listened to this, and I didn't particularly like I think there's one single on it. There's the first song on it that I didn't like, and then the rest is really good. But I do remember liking this album.
Did you like Husker Du as well?
Again, yeah, I like some of their stuff, but I preferred Sugar, I have to say.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Or maybe it was the Husker Du track that the Mega City 4 covered. Yeah, I think it is the Husker Du. Don't. Oh, God damn it! I can't remember. They did it live. Anyway. But it got me onto Bob Mould, who obviously was a big
Bob.
sort of, another Bob, yeah. But it got me onto Bob Mould, who was a big sort of American college rock, someone, not quite Pixies, but in the sort of style of Black Francis and stuff like that, I think.
Right, okay.
In amongst that group of people who were doing those kind of songs at the time. Number 15, I don't know enough about it. Speak intelligently about it, but anyway. Number 15 is The Looks or The Lifestyle. Pop Will Eat Itself.
Can't say I've ever really listened to it or listened to them that much. So more up your street and brown sauces, I think, really. Yeah,
I'd never listened to the albums. I just like some of the singles of Pop Will Eat Itself. So
fair enough.
I don't know anything about this. And at number 20 is 99.9 Fahrenheit degrees by Suzanne Vega.
Right, okay. Fourth album.
Yeah, it's all right. This it's a bit more experimental, a bit weirder, and a bit sort of stranger. I still don't ever think she topped her first album for me, but it's all right. It's got some good tracks on it. The opening track we had in Liverpool the other week, which I really like.
Yeah, that's on there. That's right. That was the one. That album is the one I remember seeing around a lot at people's houses. This is the one that.
Yeah, it was about sold a lot. Oh, it's bound to have been. Number 26 is Bone Machine by Tom Waits.
11th album. Goodness. Wow.
I couldn't tell you much about Tom Waits apart from he's in Dracula.
Yeah. Does he wait, though, for anyone? Tom Waits, does he really?
He waits for no man.
No, is he like he's stuck in a C-64 adventure, isn't he? He just waits. Tom Waits.
He's just stuck up a tree waiting for the bears to go away.
Go away, bears. Go away.
Go away.
Go away. I'm Tom Waits, you know. You're not kidding, mate.
Number 28 is the Singles Collection by the Four Tops.
Yeah. I like the middle tops and the bottom tops. I should have said the bottle tops are quite good.
Bottoms.
The four bottoms. Yeah, the four bottoms. The middle tops, the four bottoms. Yeah, all of them. I like them all. All of them.
The middle bottoms, the bottom tops.
The tops, the bottle tops, the tank tops, they're quite good.
the bob tops.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the four tops. If you've got four open containers.
Yeah. In number 33, stop this. In at number 33 is In the Night by the Stranglers. Their 11th
good album,
studio
actually.
album.
Yeah, it's a good album. Quite good, that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got quite into the Stranglers over time. They're all right.
Okay. Number 40 is Tighten Up Volume 1 by Loose Ends.
R&B band, so not my thing.
No, mine. 20 September, in at number 2 is Three Sides to Every Story by Extreme, their third studio album.
Yeah, this has got nothing good on it, that's for sure.
No. Did you have this?
No, I didn't have this one. The only one I had was Pornography, is it? Like with the first album.
Quite possibly. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Number 3 is Boss Drum by The Shaman.
Yeah, because I wonder why this one sold, because it's got bloody A's are good on it. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And your favourite, Love, Sex, Intelligence. Ooh, it's got that on it as well.
Ooh, coming on like intelligence. In at number 7 is Am I Not Your Girl by Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, an album that got badly hit, as did her career, because of her arguably controversial things that she did on the Saturday Night Live, where she tore up a photo of the Pope time, led to an outcry in the public, and she got slated by, I forget, was it somebody famous one? Was it Joe Pesci, I think, or some famous actor went on there and tore a strip off her? Anyway, yeah, famously she did that, and then her career nosedived afterwards. He was basically, it just turns out wasn't a good idea to do that.
Probably not. No. And number 34 is A Little Light Music by Jethro Tull.
No, I'm not a Tull fan at all.
No. 27th September. Sorry, Steve, did you say you were not a Tull fan? Oh, I thought you were going to say something further about the Tull.
No, I'm not into the Tull. No.
27th September. In at number 1 is Gold, Greatest Hits by ABBA.
Yeah, still hanging around. Yeah.
Number 10, Songs of Freedom by Bob Marley.
4-disc box set. Including the song that was released as a single, of course. So
if you know what you're getting. Number 14 is Greatest Misses by Public Enemy.
That's a good title for the album. It's a great title for a compilation album. That
that is a good one.
Got their live performance from The Word on it, which is interesting.
Wow, there you go. Yeah. And finally, at number 36 is Spartacus, Jeff Wayne, and various artists. I didn't even know this was a thing.
The musical version of Spartacus. Who would have thought that? And Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Jeff Wayne.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins? What?
It's got fish.
Who does he play? He can't be Spartacus.
I don't know. Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Scott singer Alan King. He is Spartacus.
So who does Fish play then? I bet he's one of the slavers or somebody mean.
Who knows?
He's dressed like a tramp most of the time anyway, so he's probably just tramp at the back.
Probably. But who knew that Jeff Wayne did a musical version of Spartacus, man? Who knew?
Why nobody? Well, it's obviously clearly been buried a little bit, hasn't it? Because
I've never heard of it.
War of the Worlds took all War of the Worlds. Put my teeth in
takes
today.
All the plaudits.
It takes all the air out the room, doesn't it? Because it's so good, and it's got Richard Bloody Burton in it. So
this has got fish.
Yeah, and who else is on that? Of course,
War of the Worlds.
You've got
David
Essex,
Burton,
and of course David Essex. I mean, that's it.
Singing
can't
other
do anything
people's
about
songs.
that. Sings every song on it, doesn't he? No, I mean, I like Jeff Wayne stuff, and I really, really like War of the Worlds. It's amazing. I've still got.
Are you tempted to track this down and have a listen?
I am a little bit, actually.
Yeah,
I'm a bit
I am
curious
as well.
to know. You can't say that when it's a Spartacus. That's a Spartacus joke you did I said, are you going to listen to it? Yeah, well, then you said I am as well, and then that's a Spartacus joke you didn't even mean to do, isn't it? That's I quite like the way you did that. That was very layered.
If only I'd meant it.
Subconscious Spartacus jokes, talking about white balance. We know how to make people laugh on this podcast.
Absolutely. And Boolean humour.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hello? Anyone still listening? Right, that's it for the music. We're going to go away, take a quick break, come back. We still have 2 more games to review. I'm sure they'll be quality. If anything by the first 2 are ready to go by. So please do stick around.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Growing up in the 80s is a chore for Sarah, who feels misunderstood by her parents and badgered by Reese, her bothersome brother who incessantly prattles on about his treasured computer games. When Reese tells her one of the games tried to pull him inside the computer, she laughs off his fanciful fib. She waggles the joystick to disprove his fairy tale and is pulled into the computer. Now trapped in games she'd never had any interest in playing, how can she possibly beat them? With the help of feisty Nell, another trapped player, can Sarah find her way back home, or is it game over? An evil madman, a hostile planet, bloodthirsty robots, a never-ending throng of karate experts, and relentless digital soldiers will do their best to ensure Sarah never escapes. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, find out if there's a way out of the beige bread bin of betrayal for Sarah in Escape from the Commodore 64.
And we are back. 2 more games of various quality. Well, actually, no, dubious quality. I don't know. Anyways, 2 more games to get through. This is another compilation release. This is how much we're scraping the barrel as we come back to this. I'm just looking for games that they might have mentioned and given a score to that are in compilations that we never looked at. And this is the second one this week. And this is Box Vigilante. Got 78%, Graham. I don't know. Released as part of the Combat Pack number 3 from Zeppelin Games. This compilation featured Ninja Commando, Bionic Ninja, Spaghetti Western, 3 games we have looked at. We will look at Bionic Ninja next week. And finally, Box Vigilante. An odd title for this game, really, but here we are. This originally came out in 1990, evaded the pages of Zapped back then for reasons only known to Zeppelin Games, because they weren't shy about sending any old shit to Zapped, were they? They were sending everything they could through. They were actually going around and chucking it through the letterbox.
It's true.
It was developed by Reflective Designs. We've seen them a lot, haven't we? Coded by Duncan Scott Kershaw. Seen him a fair bit recently as well. DJ Puff, Stuntman Seymour, Santa's Xmas Caper, along with loads of others. Graphics here by Time-Based Computer Design. Seen them before. Santa's Xmas Caper. And the music, can you guess who did the music, Graham?
Is it Mr. Gowley?
It really is, yes. Gerard Gowley. Yes, it is. There he is. There's a suitable loading screen to this with the man on the cover in his red pants doing a fancy high kick. There's some pagodas and the like before the game loads, you know. It is what it is. It's got its Eastern influences laid bare there. The title screen's got some nice music, slow, and again, a bit Eastern in tone. I quite liked it. I quite like the music in this. It's one of the few things I did actually quite like. There's some nice presentation as well. It's weird that we met right. You know, we always go on about not liking the UI on the title screen. Yeah. This one makes a sort of thing about it. It actually slides the UI on at the top on the title screen. Like, oh, look at this. Like, weird. Why would you slide it in? Then we get this, the titles come on. It's like a flashing screen. It goes, Box Vigilante. Then we get a scrolling message, which asks us to play some of their other games at the bottom. And there's some credits looking between it. It's okay, you know, as presentation goes. I quite like it. It's all right. If we leave it playing long enough, we also even get a demo of the game as well. Don't see that very often, but that's quite nice. But there's nothing to do except press fire, start the game. Do that, though, before the demo ends, because on my version, if I'd left it to loop back round, it didn't. It just went to a black screen and stopped. The music was playing, but I couldn't get out of it, so I had to reload. Not sure if it's the crack, the original, don't know. If you do press fire, the game starts properly. We get a new piece of music is heard. There's no sound effects, though, in this game. Bit criminal, that. This is a one-on-one fighting game. Can't have no sound effects, can you, in a one-on-one fighting game? They're kind of part and parcel of the, even Kung Fu had the choo, choo, choo. You had something. You need combat noise. You know, you've got to have sound effects in this. If you think about Exploding Fist, Karate Champ, you know, IK Plus, all those sort of things, they've got sound effects. Needs it. And this is a very standard one-on-one fighting game. You know, in those realms of Exploding Fist, Karate Champ, it's like that. The UI at the top, which you've seen slide on at the start, has both yours and your opponent's health. It is represented by 5 yin and yang symbols. And every time you get hit, half of the yin, either the yin or the yang is lost. I'm not really sure which is which, but either the yin or the yang disappears. Get hit again, then the other one disappears. So you can basically get 10 hits. You can take 10 hits before you're down. There's a score. There's also a timer for the round, counting down from 99, and there's the high score. That's it. All this is surrounded by a Chinese dragon breathing fire. It's actually pretty nice as UIs go for this kind of game. It's actually quite a nice design up there at the top. It looks good. And it takes up the top 6 or so lines of the screen, and the single screen fighting takes up the rest. There's a suitable backdrop. The first level's got a sort of sun, some water. It's not animated. There's a Torii gate. I think that's how you pronounce them, Tori. You normally see out of a Shinto shrine. It's got that kind of look about it. Very, the sort of thing you'd expect to see. It's kind of a cut down version of the IK Plus background, I'd say, if I was to sort of tell you what it kind of looked like. It's not quite as nice colours, not animated, not quite as nice, but it is what it is. I've seen worse backdrops, put it that way. Your 2 fighters, a couple of sprites high, and face off against each other with a bow before starting the showdown. And once you get going, controls are fairly standard, left and right to walk backwards and forwards, up to jump, down to crouch. You can't turn round, so combat is all in one direction. You fight to the right, opponents fight to the left. There's no 2 players in this. It's just a single player game, so it is what it is. If you do top right diagonal, that does a face punch. Bottom right does a shin kick. If you hold fire and up, it does a flying forward kick. Down and fire a low leg kick. Right and fire a mid kick. And left and fire does a headbutt. Okay, there's your moves. The moves themselves and the sprites, they're not badly animated. They're not top tier, but they're okay. It's fine. Okay. The sprites are actually all right. It's a bit fast, though. They're kind of a bit fast. It's like, hey. Yeah. It's like, okay. And they lack any kind of real impact. In fact, It's a bit odd, because depending on the opponent, I think we've seen this in another game as well. Contact is only shown through a part of them flashing white. Was there another game we had where the trousers flashed when you hit them?
I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but yes, there was another one.
There was another one. It's a bit odd because in the first one, I'll come to it. It's a bit odd, but you've got no sound effects, so you need to show contact somehow. So you have a bit of whatever fighter gets hit flash white. Okay, anyway. If you manage to hit your opponent 10 times, they collapse. But fear not, because they'll rise again, and you need to do it all over again to progress to fighter number 2. You don't know; it never comes up with the name of the first fighter. He's just a guy. But fighter number 2 has an intro. It's like a sort of Spectrum style sort of screen comes down, like sort of wipes it on like a sort of screen, and then it goes back up and it goes to a blue screen and it goes ready for fight number 2. Chagon the ninja. Okay. Different fighter. He's in a sort of a blue ninja get-up. He's got a different backdrop, but essentially the same again. Fight to 10, knock him out if you can. Then you get to the third fighter, Sam Xiao, the punk. Okay. Knock them out, and you get to the last fighter, the master, the thug. What it says, I don't know. You beat them, and it loops back to the beginning to do it all over again. No ending, no nothing, just loop back again. You gain score for landing hits and how much time you have left after every second bout, and that's about it. So you get scores and it moves on. That's it. That is this game. 4 fighters, 8 fights, loop. The visuals are okay throughout. I think the backgrounds being different, they're suitably themed for each one, and they're decent enough for a budget title. I can't, the same. And the same for the sprites. The visuals in this are fine. They're not outstanding, but I've seen a lot worse doing this podcast. A lot worse. There's been some dreadful things we've seen with our eyes. So I didn't actually mind it. The problem with this game is the rest of it. Because it's frustrating and dull. And
you're not wrong.
That's the problem. Without cheats, you won't progress. Because the AI of the opponents is tuned to always be hitting you, and each move only hits at a very specific distance. Before you can do it, the CPU has already done it. So landing hits on them enough to actually knock them out is a bloody nightmare. Couple that with the fact that if you lose one bout, it's game over. And it means you won't get very far at all. When I say one bout, I mean one of the fights in each pair. So, it's not like, you get beat. It's not like the first to 2, the best of 3. It's if you lose in the first fight, it's game over. If you lose in the second fight, it's game over. And so that's really bad. And couple that with you have to knock them down twice. If you knock them down the first time and their health comes back, they stand up, they get full health. You stay on the same health you had at the end of the first bout. So you've got no chance because you're going to take quite a few hits because of the way the nature of this works is they'll move into like the position where they can hit you with the sort of mid kick and they'll kick you and then you go to kick them and they just walk back out of range. Then they'll do a jump kick you, and then you'll try and headbutt them, but they'll move back out of range and they'll do the mid punch and they just do that. And this is what happens. They're moving constantly into range to do a hit. You don't know which ones will land and you can never get this right. So you're going to take a lot of damage, even if you do manage to knock them out once. And I did manage it once. I was on 1 health and they just hit me twice and I was just down at end of game over. You don't come back, game over. It means you won't progress. And ultimately you won't want to because essentially it's not a good fighting game or even an average one. It's a poor one, even for budget money. Okay. Lack of 2-player, that's a criminal oversight as far as I'm concerned in a fighting game. You need to be able to fight against each other. There's nothing really to this. It's really sort of, as I said, it lacks any kind of impact. There's no kind of sense of like progression or feeling like you're getting better at the game. The only way to actually do this is just to walk to the right, jump over them, and then kind of keep them into the right and kind of headbutt them and kind of sort of keep them pinned to the far right wall and just kind of just do that. They'll kick you a few times, but you manage to get more in, but then they'll just kick you a couple of times and it'll be game over. You won't progress. This is very annoying because of the way that the game is structured and the way that it does its combat. There's no kind of looseness to it. If you want a proper fighting experience, get IK Plus, Exploding Fist, any of those 3, and they're all going to be out on budget at this point. I mean, IK was only $6.99 when it came out 5-6 years ago. Yeah. You just play those, and they're just far, far better. Even in single player, they've got the multiplayer stuff. There's the bonus levels, there's the visuals, there's the controls. Yep. Everything about them is much better. If you want something arcadey, you get Kung Fu and so on. There are better options than this at the budget range. Even in 1990 when this first came out, it's not great. There are many better examples of this genre. It just doesn't compare to it. So it's content light. You've got 4 fights, four opponents, and then back to beginning. And it's light on game because there's nothing to actually do. There's only like 8 moves. and you can't really do them, and they're boring anyway. It feels, we've said this before, we said this, what was that one we looked at the other week, the Bod Squad?
Yeah.
So this feels like a tech demo shoved out the door. We've got this fighting stuff, we've got these 4 fight, we need to put some, no, it's fine, get it out. And I believe that's probably what's happened here. If they'd given this a bit more time and care and attention, put in a 2-player mode, knocked on, got rid of that sort of really annoying AI that's sort of, a savant that it can just kill you when it wants to and does that thing, then you could have turned this into a budget contender because, like I said, it sounds nice and it looks all right and the animations are quite good. Slowed it down a little bit, giving it a bit more, because what I did was I put cheats on. I put infinite health and infinite invulnerability on. Yeah. And I stood still, and the opposing fighter just walks up to me and got to a point where he would land a hit with a punch and just repeatedly punch me. I just left it running for like 5 minutes, and it was just like, with no sound effects, but just doing that punch. Because I wasn't responding. It wasn't hitting because he couldn't hit me. But the AI was just telling it, you're in that position, do this move. You're this distance to it. And that was it. That's why this is kind of really broken, because that's how this works. And that's not how a fighting game should work. It should react to a lot of other stimulus that's going on, which other better fighting games do. And this doesn't. So it's barely a game, this, and it's annoying to play. And it's got nothing to do with vigilantes. I mean, it's called Box Vigilante. So there's no vigilantes in this. Weird. It's a bit of a waste, this, all told. Not a great game. 78% is a joke. It's an absolute joke.
It is.
It's a 30% at best, and that's probably for the sound and visuals, which are okay. But for the actual game, it's a poor thing. What did you think?
No, it's the same. Just go and play IK Plus. It's out on budget now. I mean, good to me. IK Plus is so much better. This got 78%. I don't know really how. That's not far off the same score that IK Plus actually got, believe it or not. Which I think only got 90 odd, didn't it? This isn't in the 78. I mean, graphically it's quite good. Sound was okay, but everything else rubbish. And it's just a bit. It's not. It's got the sort of scuttle fighting where you sort of scuttle along. Kick, flicky, and then run away. It's just not got the tactical placement of the IK Pluses, or indeed of the Way the Exploding Fists. I mean, the fact that Way the Exploding Fists came out, would we review that in episode 9 of this podcast or something like that?
7 years. Well, it was 5 years. I mean, this was 90. Exploding Fists was 85.
Yeah, that's what we reviewed it in the podcast in. So episode 9, was it? Might have been earlier than that. It's early on.
Very early.
And that is better than this. So just shows you can't really get better than that. Don't try. And what was this? It's in a compilation anyway. I don't quite know. I think someone just had a go at doing it. There's some nice touches to the graphics. I'll give it that. I quite like the characterization. They're very out of a Bruce Lee movie. Certainly not out of a kickboxer movie.
The first guy and your guy reminded me of Chuck Norris from
totally.
Way the Dragon.
Yeah, he's in a karate suit. He's not. Kickboxers tend to wear shorts. So neither of them actually look like kickboxers or vigilantes. Obviously that gate that they're stood in front of is ginormous. The styling of it, okay, but other than that, that's all I had. Everything else was rubbish compared to the other games, which are cheaper and better. So go and do them. Yeah, indeed. There you go. That's Box Vigilante. Not a very good game. Let's move on to our last one for this week. And Graham, it's all over to you to, go on a bit of big game fishing. 10.95. This was 80%. Got in Zapped. This is Italian. It's an Italian game. The Italians do love making the 64 games, don't they? So it's published by Similmondo. We've seen them before, haven't we? Concept is Gabriele Ponti. We've seen her before as well. Designer Ian Venturi. He's done quite a lot of the old stuff, Ian Venturi, including things like 3D Sachi Simulator, Basket Manager, Boogie, Boxing Champion, Dylan the Dog of the Murderers that we saw last time. I play 3D soccer, that kind of thing. So he's done all of them. And also it was the design is also by Stefano Balzani. He's done also something like GP Tennis Manager and 500cc Moto Manager. All right, okay. Games that, we know. Title screen, Ivan Venturi. He's done loads of title screens for every other game that I've mentioned just now. Bocchi, F1 Manager, Dylan, Dog Murderers, all that. And then the sound duties here are Stefano Palminari. Of course, he did Basket Playoff. You remember that? But you won't. Little Sour Sister 2, Tiny Quest, and Killer Bees, the Infernal Hive. That Infernal Hive.
That sounds quite good, doesn't it?
No. Big game fishing then. All right. Finally, after months and months of hard work in the busy metropolis, you've decided to allow yourself a vacation on the limpid waters of the South Seas, where you will be able to engage your favourite sport, big game fishing. Only one problem. You are virtually broke, and the natives, being used to tourists, won't lose to make a chance to make some money off you. Okay, I don't know what that means. So, if you don't want your vacation to end in one day, you will have to catch not only a considerable amount of fish, but also the kind and the quantity of fish requested at the beginning of each day. If you should fail, you won't be able to pay the cost of your boat and buying gas, bait, etc. You will not be able to go fishing. Ooh. Weather conditions are variable, so you will get some good fishing days, some mediocre fishing days on which the fish aren't biting at all. So things start out in the harbour. It says you have 3 options: go fishing, trophy, or purchasing tackle. So you can do those things. Then you move on to the map, and then you go on to the fishing experience, and I'll talk about that as we go. So that's principally what the game is. So you got to go fishing. The idea at the beginning is you rent a boat, stock up on some supplies, and you head out and go fishing. That's so exciting, isn't it? In the idea of this, now I've got this blurb from somewhere else. This is a bit of blurb because it doesn't really tell you how to operate the game fully, really. It does, but it's anyway. The idea, you've got different phases of the game. A managerial phase where you set things up by your flares, your batteries, your fuel, your sardines for your bait. Then you can examine the weather conditions. You set destination points on your map when you get to this point, and then you navigate your boat to that point. And then by the time you get there, you should have an appropriate amount of fuel to get to where you need to be in the open waters. That's where the big fish are waiting for you, and then you go and fish for them with your rod sticking off the back of your boat. The idea, of course, here, it's a simulation, this. So you got to mount the line, assign your bait, move the rod up and down, accelerate, decelerate the boat, throw his number of sardines to attract the fish. He who attracts the fish wins the game. Not many times you get to say that in your life. He who has the fish is the best fisher, person. The game has 3 difficulty levels as well, and you can save your progress and load it in later should you wish to. Lots of elaborate front to this game, which is often the way with these Italian games, isn't it? There's some really nice graphics in the opening sort of salvo of this. Nice sort of loading as well. Decent bit of, it's got decent vibes. Music sounds okay. It's mostly icon led. We've got some full color icons here.
Full icon?
Well, these aren't full icons. These are full medium res color. They're actually pretty good. And you obviously move this is the annoying part, because you don't get a pointer on this as such. You move the joystick left and right, and it just changes the highlight on the icons just ever so slightly. It's easy to miss it or not get it to do it. I found it was a little bit slow. But the idea is that you go through these options anyway. So obviously, like I said, you buy your boat first, then you stock up on stuff, then you go into the boat and you choose your destination on like a map screen. There's always 3 or 4 icons across the bottom until you're on your boat, and then there's a few more. And then obviously, once you go into the shop, you buy the things you need. Outside of that, you then set sail and you're in your boat, and then you'll go to the set sailie screen. Now, there's a big load between all of this at that point, but it's a multi-load thing. And then when you get to the final game, there's the view as there's the bottom of the boat at the bottom. It's a bit like looking over the back of a boat. You've got kind of a view of your fishing tackle line things. You've got your rod in the middle, your bucket. Well, that's your rod in the center sticking over the back of the boat. The back of the boat. You've got sort of the number of, I think they're the things you cast out with. I can't remember what they're called.
The bait. No,
that's on the bucket on the right, and then you've got a bucket of bait, which you press the space bar to distribute. You press plus and minus in a few different keys.
Lures.
The lures, that's it. I think what they're called.
Tackle.
Yeah, so it's what you put on the end of your rod and cast out with.
Yeah.
And then you've got your bait, and then on the right, you've got plus and minus to speed up the boat, and that zooms you along. And then you've got this kind of, above that, you've got kind of the view of the sea with kind of a whitewashy effect on it to give it some waves and some sort of bluish sky, sort of rastery type colour bar. It does look quite sea-y, oceany, and that's how you principally play the game. Now, I don't know if there's a big market for fishing simulations at this point. Maybe there is. Guess somewhere, maybe on the 16 bits, this might have had a bit more about it. I don't know. I just think it probably worked better on them. It isn't that it's graphically bad. The graphics are all pretty good up to this point. They all look like they're supposed to. And it's very well presented, actually. Nice polish. Sounds are good for what's there. Lots of icons, things to do, get your boat. And that's all pretty exciting at that point. At least that's the plan anyway. And then the game quickly becomes more incomprehensible than playable once you get to the boat stage. Now, you can follow the instructions along. I didn't catch any fish in this. I zipped along the ocean with a bucket of 100, whatever they were. Hit some buttons, changed a few things. The boat sped up. I was fishing, I guess, at one point. Cast my thing out successfully. But after that, I didn't really have much of a clue what was happening. The UI doesn't really help matters. There's not a lot of feedback given to you in terms of stuff that's going on. And ultimately, this is a game of fishing, isn't it? So that's kind of the point. I don't know. It all looks and sounds okay. As I've described it, it's perfectly passable for what it is. It's just hard to understand what's actually happening, and that's a big issue, really, for a game like this. Fishing is generally about waiting patiently for fish, isn't it? That's really it's a game of fish. So you're just waiting for fish, waiting for them to bite or not. That's principally, it's a Boolean game. Fish on the hook or not on the hook. It's fish on or not. And whether that's in an ocean or a lake or wherever you're doing it, it's more, I think that the idea of these things is a bit more about the practical enjoyment of being out there in the physical space, while the water and you're splashing about and that maybe. And this is, quite, unless the games are super extremely put together and crafted in a really clever way, the notion of waiting for a fish isn't really my idea of the most exciting thing to do. But this does make it a little bit more exciting visually, but it's still not very excited. So it's just, for me, a bit of a fishing trip to nowhere, because I was just kind of sat, once I'd done my stuff, not really doing, nothing seemed to be happening. Now, I don't know if I'd done it wrong. Maybe I had, but there's not a lot of feedback given to you to understand what's going on. I moved my boat around. I went to different open waters. I tried, I ran out of bait in the end. So I went back and I hadn't earned enough money because I hadn't caught any fish. So it was very disappointing, and they make sure you know about that. So I don't know. My question is really, who is this for? Are there any hardened fishing enthusiasts that were crying out for a game like this? Maybe. I don't know. Would they be willing to invest the time to buy the boat, to get the bait, to do all of that, and then ultimately just sit and look at a C64 render of a back of a boat? Is that your thing? I don't know. Is that, if that's your journey and your aim, I don't know. I don't know quite what this is really simulating. This doesn't simulate enough to be good at simulating, and it doesn't have enough fishing in it to be interesting or good at fishing. So it's more of a kind of a bob about the ocean, zip about a bit with some white noise sound for water. Graphically quite nice, I grant you. But there wasn't much I could get into it. I had no hook. Didn't get it hooks into me. So it wasn't going in my keep net, and other fishing terms that you can think of. I don't know. Maybe this has got something for people that are into this. I just couldn't find a way into it. I found it quite impenetrable. After all the welcoming stuff and all my selections, it didn't feel like it really amounted to a whole lot of game. It just felt like I was looking at a fishing rod on the back of a boat a lot. And that was the thing for me. I didn't catch a single fish either, which is always a disappointing thing on a game called Big Match Fishing. I didn't feel like I was in a match, and I didn't do much fishing. I did a lot of driving around in a boat, though, until I ran out of fuel. Don't do that, by the way. So that was it for me. I couldn't really get into it. And I think it didn't help that I went through the instructions a few times, looked at how you fish, you scan the sonar, and there's radar, and there's all this stuff, and there's like types of bait. And it just, in the instructions, it does say, here is an example of how to catch a fish after choosing your route. And it tells you exactly what to do. And I followed that to the letter, and I didn't catch nothing. Yep. So I don't know if I'd done it wrong or was something, but the problem is, if you're playing a fishing game and you don't do the one thing that you're there for, it's not a fishing game, is it? It's just you staring at nothing. So
it's a boat game.
It's just a boat game, and as a boat game, it wasn't very interesting. So that was my experience with this game. It was a bit expensive as well for what it was. They might have got away with a bit more for me if it was a budget game, but nah. And it's pretty to look at, but not much inside. What about you?
Exactly the same. My first comment is there a game here? Because there seems to be quite a few elements, but in all my days of fishing and following the instructions to the letter, I never got a single bite. Got the right, nothing. So I went out, I wound my line, I put some bait on it, I cast off to many, meters down as you're supposed to. I set my speed to the appropriate knots. I waited for the seagulls to circle around me, which they never did. I put out some chum and waited. Nothing. Not a nibble. Not so much as a by your leave. This is an odd thing. It feels laggy to control in the menus. That's never good, okay? Because I couldn't be like, you move and you're like, and then it moved across too. So I think there's some bad optimization in there. And what this game needs, I'll tell you what this game needs, a very basic tutorial that lets you catch a fish.
Yeah.
That's what, there you go. Go out. This is what you do. Catch fish. Bunk. And that would get you on board, so to speak. There you go. There's a third fishing pun. The fact that I spent several days at sea, never hooked a thing, seemed to go, and I've written exactly what you do, it seems to go against what the game is called. I want to catch fish. Video games are supposed to let me do something other than sail a boat around an empty ocean. It's supposed to let me know I can do that, whatever. I applaud the idea behind it. It's a bit different. They needed to give you the catch of the day to start you off and then let you explore further. They should have given you an easy, there you go. First thing is catch a fish. It always happens, and it gets you that excitement in. As it stands, it doesn't do the thing it purports to do. And so I gave up on it after a while.
It really doesn't.
It's like, this should be called big boat sailing or fishing boat sailing, not big game fishing. I just gave up because I was bored, really bored. Because I wanted to catch a fish. It It says in the Zap review, it says it takes ages, and when you do, it's really exciting. But I'm like, I can't. Every time I keep wasting. I don't know. I keep running out of fuel, running out of money, and getting game over because I can't catch a frigging fish.
No, I agree.
So no. I didn't particularly enjoy this. I just found it really dull and bored. Second game this week, I can't find a game. What a week. Yep. And there you go. What a boring week. Oh, not particularly great games. Elvira, dull. Fighting soccer, horrific. Kickbox Vigilante.
Don't think about it.
No game in there. Big game fishing.
No.
Just
no fishing.
Big. No fishing. Just no game. So just big.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. It's
not a great opener, is it? That.
No, it's really not. But we can, who knows? You don't know what these games are going to be like when you put them in a list. It turns out those lot were rubbish.
We can only hope that the next lot is better.
Well, yeah, we've got 5 next week to finish off September. We've got the Cool Croc Twins.
Right, okay.
Full price, £12.
Okay, I wonder if it's a platform game.
I don't know. Is it like, is it Mario Brothers? Is it Bonanza Bros? Cool Croc Twins? We've got International Ice Hockey, budget ice hockey. So I don't know. We've got a compilation release of Bionic Ninja. Another Zeppelin one that was on that Kickbox.
We saw that, didn't we? We saw the thing of that.
Yeah, so we've got that. We've got the 1000 Miglia Volume 1, 1927.
Oh, there's that the motorbike one.
It's an old car racing game by Simil Mondo.
Right, okay.
It's these guys again. And then we've got Narco Police.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
The song by thingy, isn't it? Narco Police.
Karma Police.
Yeah, Narco Police. Yeah, that's what we like to think it is.
Well, it's got a hell of a cover that's almost Steigar-esque. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, so that's what we've got coming up next week. Oh, good Lord. 5 episodes left, Graham. 5. Kind of weird, isn't it? That was strange.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah. So 5 episodes left. We've still got, still a little bit to go. And then a couple of bread bins as well. But we slowly get there. Hopefully next week will be better. As I said at the beginning, we have a Patreon. So if you want to join that, patreon.com/Zapped to the Past. You can buy us a Ko-fi at ko-5/Zapped to the Past. Support us as we get to the end of this mammoth undertaking, which has taken a lot longer than we thought it would do. I don't know. Yeah, so I just feel a bit drained by those games. It's a bit drained. There's nothing to get excited about, was there? It just feels a bit
Yeah, not really.
So, you got anything you want to add, Graham? Because I just think I just want to go home and take my joystick with me.
I'm going to say because I'm the same. I cannot fathom games that get released like this. I can't. And that awful bloody... No, I don't want to say its name. It's just not a good episode. And that bloody stupid football game, goodness me, just do better. Come on, let's see the final. We're into the final few episodes now of the podcast. Let's just see if we've got something tangible. Come on, got to be something in there. I mean, we've got a contender for the worst arcade conversion and the worst game in one go. I mean, that's quite good. So, for the bread bins,
Yeah, would it be our first double winner?
Well, it's going to be that particular. There's a couple of categories that are going to be really difficult to choose from, and then there's the couple of categories that are going to be really difficult to choose from because there's not enough in there. I mean, the best game is going to be a challenge, and things like best audio, it's not going to be.
Well, I was going to say, what you got to give best audio to?
I genuinely, unless as is always the case with the bread bin, something comes along in the last episode with a decent soundtrack. I don't actually know.
Yeah, well, there is actually, because the last game we look at is Bullseye.
Right.
So I'm hoping if it's got the Bullseye theme, then it automatically wins best audio. They could do a good version of that in C64 as well. I'll be like, yeah, you win. Well done.
Might have that really awful digitized speech though.
I hope it does. In one, a trouser press.
that weird speech, that C64 speech thing. That robot speech that you got.
Into a tea's made. Kind of hoping it does do that. We'll see. But Graham, we have 16 games left.
Goodness me. Well, of this iteration, 16 games of this iteration.
Yeah. Well, to get to the end of this, a
lot of the patrons have been asking if they could give us a list of games that they want us to look at. And no, I'm quite into that idea. But if you put Elite on that list, just no. But I'm never going to look at it. I'm just tell you now. Just putting it out there.
We'll just tell you the same thing we did 5 years ago.
I know that mercenary. I mean, I admire their dedication to that. I do admire it. I don't like the games particularly, but I admire their dedication. So,
no.
But there's been a couple of suggestions now where they said, there's a few games that. I think Lee Dove has mentioned that there's a few games they'd like to look at for us to look at, and there's been a few of the other patrons as well. I think David. I call him David O'Hearn again. Then David Hearn. Sorry, David. I don't know why I put the O in your name. I just do. All right, that's what I'm doing now. I'm putting O's in names. But David Hearn. There's a few others have said, you should look at this one. You should look at that. And the plan is that we will look at the odd. One of the mini versions. I'll say mini, but one of the new iterations is that we look at something like that. So I'm sure we'll find space for some of these things in due time. All in good time. All in good time.
And on that note, I think we should go because I am literally spent with these games.
I'm done. Yes, I've got a sore bottom from all of the horrors.
Yeah, true. So on that note, I have been Adrian Mills.
And I have been Graham. Football players should not be green or transparent raddings.
And you've been listening to, my God, save your screams till you see the single colour football game. And we will see you again next week. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Zapped to the Past podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Commodore 64 games, as well as the music, films and TV from around the 1980s, driven, of course, by the issue of Zapped 64 magazine published at that time. We will return with a whole new batch of games and stuff to talk about next week. Until then, if you want to listen to or download previous episodes of Zapped to the Past, and why wouldn't you, they can all be found on our website at zappedtothepast.com, as well as being available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Player FM, and, well, pretty much anywhere where we can upload them. By the way, we do always love to hear from our amazing listeners, so if you'd like to contact us about anything in the podcast or beyond, you can do so by emailing us at zappedtothepast@gmail.com. We're also active on Twitter under @ZapTother, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and most social media platforms. Just search for Zapped to the Past and you'll find us. Oh, and if you like the podcast and what we're doing, please do like, share, review, rate us. It really helps. Something. Apparently, the Zapped to the Past podcast is written and produced by Adrian Mills and Graham Raddings and recorded at Flaky Bits 2.0 Studio. All opinions expressed are those of the writers, and while we indeed love Zapped 64 magazine, the Zapped to the Past podcast is not affiliated with it in any way. Stay safe, see you next time, and remember, we play these games so you don't have to.